Welcome, everyone. This is your friend, the DN What If, here with another exciting fanfiction. Today, we're diving into the story of What If Deku Had a Harem with Nejire? If you enjoy this video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more fanfiction content just like this. Now, let's get started with the fanfic. I'm a noob at making stories and a lot of typos. Speaking. The day started like any other day for our class 1A cinnamon roll. The day started like any other day with morning training, but when he returned to the dormers it was empty. He washed up and showered and got ready for class when he went to class and everyone was glaring at him. "Hi guys," said Izuku, but when he said that they just angrily said, "Shut up traitor, Ida. Why are you still here?" Uraka said angrily, but before they could continue Aizawa used his capture scarf and quirk to take him to the main office. When they reached the principal's office, Deku wasn't even given the change to ask why he was there. He was instantly asked by Nizu, "Why did you steal the files and give them to the League of Villains?" Deku was surprised by this and asked, "What are you talking about? I didn't do anything like that." Then Nizu showed him a recording from a camera of him stealing them. "How do you explain this then? That isn't me, I never did that," Deku said while still being shocked by what he saw. Then All Might came and said angrily, "Give one for all back to me. It's not a quicker a villain should have." "But I didn't do it," shouted Deku, but after being pinked by All Might in the gut he knew no one would believe him, so he just gave one for all do All Might, with All Might saying angrily, "I know a successor much more fitting than a traitor like you." Deku didn't even say anything, he just gave own for all back to one for all and just let them put him into a police car. But before that Mirio came with 4 others. Eri was on his shoulder. Nejire, Tamaki and Bakugo. Mirio said sadly to Deku, "We believe you that you didn't steal the files, and the others with me that believe you're innocent." When Deku had this, a tear was on his face and he asked sadly, "Why do you believe me when even All Might doesn't believe me?" "That's because I know you would never steal the fias," answered Mirio. "I known you for my entire life and I know you damn nerd and that you weren't the one who stole the files," yelled Bakugo a bit angrily when Deku saw that the other 2 didn't say why they believed he is innocent and saw they wouldn't answer even if he asked. He just said while an innocent smile said to them both, "Thanks guys for believing that I was innocent." Then he walked into the car and it drove away to Tartarus. When the car was out of sight, Nejire fell onto her knees holding her 2 hands in front of her chest while singing, and they just were there before Nejire caught up and said while singing, "Come on, we have to go back to school." Mirio, Tamaki, Bakugo had angry expressions on their face and Bakugo swore inside his head, "I will do everything in my power to prove that the damn nerd is innocent." The other news of this and they also swore that they would do the same inside the head, and they went back to you. While 3 of the 5 were angry and the other 2 cried. Nejire believed that Deku is innocent because she developed feelings for him after the overhaul fight and was extremely sad that her crush was framed and sent to the prison where the worst criminals are held. "I hope that he is proven innocent and then I can confess to him that I love him," she said to herself in her thoughts. When Deku arrived in Tartarus, the 2 guard with him asked why a kid his age is in this prison. "I was framed by someone with a transformation quirk that I stole UA files on the teachers and students' quirks and info," he said while crying and looking down. When the guard saw this he noticed that he wasn't faking that he was sad but was actually sad. "Welp kid, I believe you because I can see that you are actually sad and I can tell that you aren't the kind of person to do that." "My name is Felix," the other guard is Steve. Deku was shocked by this and asked them, "Why do you believe me so easily when my friends and teachers didn't?" While singing and yelling, "Because I can tell you are hurt, depressed, sad and betrayed by your voice," said Felix. When Deku heard this he was happy that Samani actually believed him. Then Felix said, "We will protect you because the others learn you are a ex-UA student. They will try to kill you and I will tell some other guards about to your story and why you are here." All Deku could say was, "Thanks," and when he reached his cell it was a 1-person cell and Felix said, "I will go tell other guards about you and we will protect you." "Thanks," is all Deku could say, and then his life in prison begun. Is all Deku could say, and then his life in prison begun. Is all Deku could say, and then his life in prison begun. "I will go tell other guards about you and we will protect you, thanks," is all Deku could say, and then his life in prison begun. Is all Deku could say, and then his life in prison begun. Is all Deku could say, and then his life in prison begun. "I will go tell other guards about you and we will protect you, thanks, is all Deku could say, and then his life in prison begun. That is all Deku could say, and then his life in prison begun. That is all Deku could say, and then his life in prison begun. Week 1. It was a normal and not active week, but he did meet some other guards and they were promised to protect him. The prisoners noticed how the guards were protecting the XUA student and thought this was bias. So when Tei had the change, Tei would attack him and the guards had to save him. Week 3. The prisoners made a tagger, and when it was lunchtime they attacked Deku with it and stabbed him in the right thigh, and the guards noticed this because of his loud screams of pain, and when they arrived they quickly took him into the infirmary. They were upheld to stop Tei bleeding, but the eye was lost. After this, Deku lost all will to live and he just sat in his cell all day. The guards had to come and look to see if he was still alive, which made them worry, but when he slept he appeared in a place which he didn't recognize and saw 8 people standing there. "Who are you people?" asked Deku, kinda scarred. They answered, "We're the 7 deadly sins and we would like you to become our successor." This shocked Deku, but then he thought, why should I trust him when my own idol betrayed me? Then a short boy with messy blonde hair and emerald green eyes hugged him saying, "We won't betray you, we swear on that." Then Deku decided that he would become their successor. Beacuse, what else though use he have to lose? Alright, I will become your successor. Good, my name's Meliodas. The others there are Ban, King, Diane, Merlin, Escaner, Gauther, Elizabeth, and we will start training for 8 years now, said Meliodas. What, 8 years? Answered a shocked Deku. Don't worry, 8 years is 8 days in the real world. Meliodas reassured. Alright, let's start training. Deku, alright, I will become your successor. Good, my name's Meliodas. The others there are Ban, King, Diane, Merlin, Escaner, Gauther, Elizabeth, and we will start training for 8 years now, said Meliodas. What, 8 years? Answered a shocked Deku. Don't worry, 8 years is 8 days in the real world. Meliodas reassured. Alright, let's start training. Deku, alright, I will become your successor. Good, my name's Meliodas. The others there are Ban, King, Diane, Merlin, Escaner, Gauther, Elizabeth, and we will start training for 8 years now, said Meliodas. What, 8 years? Answered a shocked Deku. Don't worry, 8 years is 8 days in the real world. Meliodas reassured. Alright, let's start training. Deku. Everyone is still mad at Deku Ebicus. They think Dekus the traitor. Everyone except Baguko. Ytoa protect the traitor. It shows him clearly betraying us. All of them said, "Because I known the damn nerd my entire life and I know he wouldn't do it," answered Bakugo before they could continue. Aizawa came into the class and started the class. While in class, "What can prove that the damn nerd is innocent?" thought Bakugo. Then he remembered Sotmink and quickly exited the classroom while asking, "Where is he going?" "I'm going to get the thing that will prove the damn nerd is innocent," answered Bakugo loudly, shocking everyone. On the way to Deku's dorm he ran into the big 3. They asked why is he in a hurry at class time. "To get the thing that will prove that damn nerd is innocent," answered Bakugo, shocking the 3. Then they hurried also after Bakugo, thinking, if what he says is true then we can finally prove Izuku's innocent. While thinking this, Nejire cried, "Beacuse, if it actually proves that he's innocent then her crush could return to UA and she could confess." At class 1, a dorms, Bakugo went into Deku's room and frantically searched everywhere for something. When he found it he shouted, "He found it, the thing that will prove the damn nerd is innocent." The big 3 ran upstairs and saw Bakugo with it notebook, asking, "What's that?" It's his notebook where he keeps quirk info in and other stuff about the quirk and its weaknesses, answered Baguko. When they heard this all of them were happy and Nejire started to cry more because they knew the thing he was framed for was stealing files about the UA students and teachers' quirks and other stuff. But when they heard this and heard that this already had their quirk info they knew that this would prove Dekus innocent. After this they rushed into the principal's office, slamming the door open and saying, "We found something that will prove Dekus innocent." When they heard this, Principal Nizu and the other teachers were shocked and asked, "Show it then." Then Bakugo threw the notebook in front of Nizu. "What's this?" asked Nizu. Bakugo answered, "This is a notebook of Deku where it has all the quirks and weaknesses of the students and teachers' quirks." After hearing this, Nizu opened the book and saw he was entling and thought, and it was better than our files. "What have we done?" He called all the teachers and showed them the notebook and watches every camera to see that Himiko Toga was the true culprit, while Bakugo had a huge grin when they saw and heard what was in the notebook. Ndidi saw their quilty and sorry expressions. He jeered, "I told you people that Deku didn't do it. Hu was rigged. I was After this all might thogeth what had he done to his successor, and he was angry at himself and Quilty for not believing his successor. After this Nizu said, I'll go with midnight. To Tartarus aid in ask Izuku Midoriya to rejoin Ua. The Nizu and Midnight went to Tartarus after saying, keep this a secret between us. When Aizawa and Bakugo returned to Class 1A and saw Bakugo's big grin and Aizawa's Quilty expression and they asked, what happened? Aizawa just said no school for 3 days, I need to think about something. After this the big three and Bakugo and Eri were happy but didn't say why, and now they just wait for Deku to return and for him to be said of at the others and scream at them. I'm ending part 1 here. Follow if you wanna see part 2 and say how to improve the story. Part 2 Training and Innocent. Well, part 2 time, and I'm just gonna start off with Deku training with the Sins. 1 year Meliodas. Training with Meliodas he learned how to use a sword and I was changed into a demon, then he learned how to activate his demon mark and its different forms, and he learned all of Meliodas's abilities and upgraded full counter to perfect counter which counters all attacks, and learned counter vanish which just makes Tay attacks long range ones go away. At the end of his training Meliodas gave Deku Lost Vein and he showed him how to use it, also teached a bit of his perverted stuff to Deku secretly. 2 year Ban. Ban trained Deku how to use his sacred treasure Kurchaus and how to use it do fight, then gave Deku his immortal body to some extent. He still can die but it's only when all of his 7 hearts are destroyed. Age doesn't kill him. He learned Ban's magic snatch and how to steal organs plus physical energy and other stuff and made him a bit less shy, plus trained him how to cook secretly. 3 year Merlin. Merlin trained Deku in the arts of magic and he learned fast some of Merlin's basic spells, and later down Taeyear some of her advanced spells. She gave him her sacred treasure the Morning Star Aldon which increased his magic control further rivaling Merlin. Also he's less embarrassed in front of females now. Beacuse of Merlin. Magic he knows Streamed Ray, Apport, Infinity, Absolute Cancel, Magic Cancel, Location, Perfect Cube, Double Impact, Fake Ball, Fire, Wind, Ice, Earth spells, Teleportation and Purgatory Venom, plus. Thoth him a lot of knowledge she knows. 4 year Gauther. Gauther taught Deku how to use his magic invasion and gave him his sacred treasure Harit. Deku learned how to go into people's mind and give them nightmares or good dreams, changing memories, deleting memories and showing others memories. He also became a bit more skillful with magic thanks to Gauther. 5 year King. King trained Deku how to use his sacred treasure Spirit Spear Chastiefol and its other forms and its true forms. King made Deku part fairy Su his currently 1/3 fairy. He also taught Deku his magic ability Disaster, Levitation, Heart Reading, which allows him to read people's hearts and thoughts, and Status Promotion which lets him promote any small scratch to a fatal injury. 6 year Diane. Diane trained Deku in the arts of Droll's dance and gave him his sacred treasure the War Hammer Gideon. She made Deku 1 part giant making him 1/4 giant. She helped him learn her special ability Heavy Metal and how to fight in his giant form. 7 year Elizabeth. Elizabeth taught Deku how to use the gods' race powers like Arc and Omega Arc Plus. He learned from her the ability to heal of the gods' race. She made Deku 1 part gods which makes him 1/5 gods. She also helped Deku become more comfortable with talking with beautiful females, and in this training he thought Elizabeth looked like Nejire which confused him why he thought that. Here Iskaner. Iskaner taught Deku how to be more prideful and how to control his ability Sunshine and his magic attacks and not to be so unconfident because he has mostly all of their powers. So be proud of your power. He also caught an amulet from Merlin to help suppress his Sunshine ability in daytime and gave him his divine axe Rita. The end of his training. All Rigth kid, we trained you the best we could and it's now time to go back to the real world. This made Deku sad and asked, will I ever see you again? I don't want to leave any of you. Of course you'll see Sue will be inside your mind after all. Anwizard Meliodas, now it's time to wake up, but before that everyone hew him. They all went and hugged him and he hugged back. Well, see you later guys, said Deku to the Sins, and next thing he noticed that he was inside his cell, and when Felix noticed he woke up he went inside and asked him how he was doing, and he noticed that he had changed. He was more muscular and he was taller. He was 155 centimeters or 5 feet before. Now he is 188 centimeters tall or 2 feet, and his hair had some blonde tips at the end of the hair. Before he could ask Deku what happened, he remembered something and told Deku. You have visitors, they have been trained to visit you sleepyhead for 8 days now, they're currently here, so let's go. Okay, let me just put on some better clothes. Answered Deku, after he was changed, and when he reached the visitor space, who he saw Amsat made him explode with anger and reveal his demon mark. In front of him was Aizawa, Nizu and Midnight. What do you guys want to rub it in that you're free while I'm locked up, said Deku Tias life. Demonic voice. This scarred them, but Nizu answered, no, Bakugo found proof that you were innocent, and then we checked all the security camera and saw that Toga was actually the culprit, while scratching his neck, so, answered Deku with still the same angry face and demonic face. We want you to come back into because you're innocent, said Nizu while shaking in terror. Fine, but on 3 conditions, said Deku. And what conditions are they? Asked Nizu curiously. 1, I will get a soundproof room and it will be bigger. Then the dorm rooms, sounds easy enough, answered Nizu. 2, I don't want to be in class 1, a dorm's because of how everyone except one there belivde I was the traitor. Where do you want to stay then? Asked Nizu confused. If the big 3 a Mirio, Nejire and Tamaki Akri, I would like to go do class 3 a dorms. Okay, sounds simple enough, answered Nizu relieved that he didn't ask something dangerous. 3, if I have a request in the future you must complete it. This shocked the 2 teachers and Nizu, but still Nizu agreed to this. Alright, just let me go say goodbye to the guys I made friends with. But as he said this, Nizu's phone ringed and he answered it. What he heard shocked him. We have to go now, said Nizu in a hurry. Why? Asked because class 1, a class 1b, the big 3 and All Might are losing a fight against the League of Villains in the U.S. Jay, are you coming? Asked Nizu in a rush. Felix, say goodbye and thanks to the others for guarding me here. Felix agreed. Then Deku used a port to change his clutches to a green shirt with a hoodie, and where a part of his arm was shown which had Melioda's wrath tattoo on it. When the others noticed this, they asked, what was that? I'll explain later, now I'm off to the U.S. Jay. Then he peeled the hoodie on and teleported away, which is shocked everyone there. At the U.S. All Might was facing 3 different colored nomes of the highest tier. Even in the high tier, nomes are red, green, add a blue one. Ha ha ha, it's time to All Might then question how's your successor doing, said Shigaraki with a maniacal laugh. He's in prison because of you, answered furiously. No, because of you, because you didn't believe he was innocent, answered Shigaraki, which made All Might feel more quilty than he already was. I'm sorry everyone, I'm sorry that I failed you, and I'm sorry that I didn't believe you, young Midoriya. But as he just accepted his fate that he was dead and everyone couldn't see through the smoke, they asked, is he dead? No, I can't be, with a horrified face. But as the smoke cleared, they saw All Might there, but a new figure appeared with a dragon tattoo on his left shoulder. The figure said, Sate, I've been gone for 4 weeks and this is how things turn out. I'm disappointed, said the figure while waving his hand back and forth. You, it couldn't be young Midoriya? Asked All Might. Shocked when the others heard this, they were in disbelief, while Bakugo said, welcome back you damn nerd. While Miro and Tamaki were smiling happily and Nejire was seeing tears of joy because her crush was back. Then he removed the hoodie to show his face. Then they confirmed he was Izuku Midoriya Deku. All except 5 there were mad that he was here, while they 4 out of 5 were happy and the other was shocked. Then Deku grabbed All Might and suddenly appeared in front of them and said to them, hiya guys, did you miss me? With a bright full smile. Dekus new abilities. Demon Mark Tier 1 form can control. Demon Mark Tier 2 can control, just doesn't use the one which covers half of your body in darkness. Full Demon Mark can control and says it more than Tier 2 Mark because it's more effective and helpful. Assault form can control for only 21 minutes, then he goes berserk. Demon King form can control it barley but only for 1 minute, other was he self-destructs. Hellblaze, enchant Hellblaze, divine 1000 slashes, Lost Vein abilities, perfect counter. Snatch, physical hunt, fox hunt and its forms, a kinda immortal body but long 1 heart. Ramayan's Deku won't die, expert cooking ability that surpasses UA's cook. Disaster, damage promotion, fairy form, levitation, and heart and mind reading. Sunshine, cruel sun, Tay 1, the ultimate one he uses Infinity with Merlin's ability that lets her life forever. With the ultimate one Su, he won't die because it still damages him and takes away his life force for its power. Infinity, absolute cancel and mro of magic attacks. Earth bending, Droll's dance, heavy metal, giant form. Arc and its other forms, God's form, healing powers and wings. Inavtion and all its mind control and changing affects. Plus all of the sin's sacred treasures and their abilities. Well, this is part 2, so yes, next time on part 3 J Battle and Girlfriend? Part 3 J Battle and Girlfriend? Author notes and 4-wall breaking of the author. Last time on the Sin Hero Deku was released from prison and was about to go back to school, but out of nowhere the principal caught a call saying that Jay was under attack, so Deku went there and saved All Might's life and went back to his ex-friends to say hello. Now back to the story. What are you doing here, you damn traitor? Screamed everyone except 5. Oh, you see, Omon guy's not happy to see me, answered Deku with a fake smile. Why would we be happy to see you, traitor? Said Uraraka. Ah, that's too bad, and here I was thinking of helping you all. I guess not, said Deku with a devilish grin what sent shivers down all of the students, but out of nowhere Nejire flung herself at Deku saying, Izuku, you're back, I missed you so much. While huging him, Ku was a little red after this but hugged her saying, I missed you also. Now both were red and Mirio and Tamaki were smirking while the others were in shock, but out of nowhere a Namu was behid Deku, but he always knew it was coming, but do mess with them, he just soft-end and weakened himself do such a tiger that the Nomu could hit his head of his body. His head was punched of his body and Mirio, Bakugo, Tamaki were shocked while Nejire started to yell that Deku died and all the other were circling saying, serves that traitor Rigth, but out of nowhere Bakugo had a knock and flung an explosion at them saying, screw you, we proved that Deku is innocent a week ago and yet you still treat him like he's a traitor. This shocked everyone because they didn't know he was proved innocent, but they didn't believe him, but then they noted the Nomu apove Nejire abud to kill her, she didn't even resist beacuse. What's the point, her crush died, but out of nowhere Deku's heatless body moved and kicking the Nomus head off to everyone's surprise. What hell? Said everyone in unison, and out of nowhere a head of Deku reappeared and he said, welp, that little prank was worth it, welp, time to go kill the Nomus. The entire class was dumbfounded by what happened. Before they could ask what happened, he suddenly pulled out Lost Vein and stabbed the Nomu and said, enchant hell blaze. The blade turned purple and purple-black flames started coming out of it and making the Nomu scream in pain and shocking everyone further by Deku's new power, but before they could recover he said, is this all you can do? I'm disappointed in you, am not even to you, welp, let's end this, but first let's heal everyone here. He used his god's powers to heal everyone, one even the old wound on All Might, shocking him. Then he just slashed the Nomu out of nowhere with 1,000 divine slashes and used Hellblaze to burn the Nomu so it wouldn't regenerate. When Shikaraji saw this he said, you're not supposed to be here, you cheater, you cheated, you used hacks, that's unfair. Oh, you shut up, you man baby, said Deku to everyone's surprise. Then they noticed a mark appear on his forehead. Nejire mustered enough courage to ask him, what is that, Izuku? Oh, this just one of my new abilities, answered Deku. New abilities? Everyone asked. I'll explain later to everyone also, but now time to defeat the League of Villains. Deku said this as he jumped back to where the League is. Then he summoned Chastafol and used its 4-formed sunflower, causing a giant flower to appear from the ground. Everyone couldn't think what that was before it shot a laser at the Nomu. Then Deku used its 3-form fossilization and stabbed the red Nomu and it turned into stone. And then he punched the Nomu into dust with one punch, surprising everyone even more. No, how much more are you going to cheat? That's not fair, ice not fair. Shikaraji, stop being a damn baby, said Deku to him. He summoned a small cruel sun and everyone wondered what that is. By using mind read he knew he had to answer the question. This is a cruel sun, a pretty weak one at that, but it still burns at a 10,000 C. He then flung the cruel sun at the last Nomu, disintegrating it. Damn it, Kurokiri, get sensei here now, Shigaraki said angrily. Note, when Deku was training, all for one escaped, but before they could get the change to fight back, Deku was already in front of Shigaraki saying Baypack time. He then punched Shigaraki in the gut, making him faint. Then Dabi rushed him with his fire, but before he could damage him, he gave him a small cut with Chastafol. What's that small cut gonna do to me? Asked sadistically. This stat use promotion. The small cut became a big cut in his hand, making him fall down because of the pain. Deku then used Snatch on the cut armed and that made Dabi faint from pain. Then Toga came saying, Deku-kun, let's dance. When he saw here his anger reached its limit and the full demon mark appeared on his face, scaring everyone. He then ripped Toga's arm off and saying your hopeful face go into despair is just the best thing, which shocked everyone and Nejire thought What happened to the Aizu-chan that I fell in love with? Maybe this is only when he fights and after this will return to my Aizu-chan. Time to use Lost Vein, said Deku as he made 2 copies. Note the copy always has 1/ how many copies he makes. Do the copy here have 1/3 his power? What so many Aizu-chan think gonna faint? When everyone heard Nejire say this, a few were shocked but others had a big smile, and even Deku heard this and turned red as a tomato and thought, does she like me? Which made him go do a new level of reddens. Well, time to go attack Compers and Spinzer, said the clones, and the clone broke Spinner's sword and snatched the robotic arm from Compers, then crushing it before he punched Compress out cold. But just before Deku was gonna go back to his ex-friends and his true friends and Nejire all for one, apeard sang, "So Izuku Midoriya, you're the reason why Shigaraki called me. I know they betrayed you, so why not join us? One, the name is Izuku. Now I abandoned that name when my mom died and visit me once. 2, no beacuse, you're the reason I was framed, so only your death would calm me," said Deku with him starting to go into assault form. "What's that? It's quite scary. That's for me do know, and for you do die." Anwizard Deku, "Welp die." Anwizard AFO, but before he could use air cannon, Deku rushed, leaving a hole in AFO arm. Then he grabbed Deku. He let him AFO set with your quirks. I'll become invincible. Sorry, but I'm quirkless. The powers I'm using are some think you can't steal, only feel pain when fighting me. When everyone heard this, they thought, what is this new power if it's not a quirk? Before you start thinking what it is, I'll say this: I'm only 1/5 human. This answer left everyone speechless, and AFO only asked, what hell are you? I'm the successor to the 7 deadly sins. Anwizard Deku, they have heard of the myth of the sins but didn't think it was real. That can't be possible, they're just a myth. Die you BSL, take you out with me. No, you're going alone. Perfect counter. Then AFO attack launched BB at him twice as strong. AFO died and all the league except Kurokiri hus down, and as he went to get Shigaraki, Deku was in front of him and used Gideon do stab him a bit with earth bending, but not enough to kill him, and with that Deku beat the league alone. "Hi guys, so how you been?" As Deku asks, immediately all of them who think he's a traitor attack him. He lets the acid hit beacuse to mess with them, and just as that happens, Nizu arrives with reinforcements only to yell, "What have you done, Mina?" Just Anwizard, "I killed the damn traitor." He isn't the traitor. Anwizard Nizu, he was framed and you just killed an innocent human. When they heard this, they thought he must have a mind control power. The video shows him being the traitor. Hey, they're not wrong, but they're just a stewborn. But just as they were gonna walk away, Deku suppressed Nejire by curbing her and lifting her up just below the chest area, and she couldn't muster anything. Only looked back and saw a reforming head of Deku with a big innocent bright smile, and then she cried out loud and happily thought, "Izuku-chan is back, my Izuku-chan is back." This suppressed him and he said, "You know I can read minds and hearts now, so I heard what you just thought." "W8, so you know what I just thought," said Nejire with a deep blush. "So what's your answer?" asked Nejire, but when Deku's entire face reapered, he just kissed Nejire, which shocked her at first but then kissed back. The kiss lasted for 40s before had to separate beacuse of lack of breath. Then Deku said as he was red as a tomato, "Does that answer your question? If not, then I like you, Nejire. Do you wanna be my girlfriend?" "Yes, of course, nothing would make me happier." While she huged and kissed him, Uraka looked at them jealously. Mirio teased, saying, "Come on you 2 lovebirds, let's get due and then you can get a room." This made them go from as red as a strawberry to deep crimson red, and they both Anwizard, let's go while holding hand. I typed this almost entirely on phone, so yeah, next time moving to class 3 and they will not see the scar on his eye. Chapter 4 in class 1B and the Big 3 versus Deku. Previously on the Sin Hero Deku. Deku saved his classmates and Nejire is his girlfriend now. How will our protagonist life change? Dined out in his chapter of the Sin Hero. On their way back from the U.S.J. Ertone noticed something strange, a floating pillow, and Deku was on top of it sleeping, but Nejire used her quirk to fly up and also sleep on the pillow, which made her blush heavily. Time skip beacuse lazy. "What was that pillow and where do I get one?" asked Aizawa. "Sorry, but spear chastiful first form." The pillow turned into a spear, which Deku just standed on the tip of the spear and floating. "It's one of my new abilities, but after one think then I'll explain everything and how I became 1/5 human and my new powers." As he finished saying this, Deku felt death glares and noticed all of class doing it, thinking, how can we kill him? He regenerates a head attacked by acid. Author's note: you can't just cut His head of it won't do it. Beacuse Deku has a bit of the immortality of Ban where age won't kill him but stabbing his 7 hearts will kill him. Now back to the story. Principal Nizu, can I show them that I'm innocent, said Deku. Sure me dash. But before he could finish it he had lost vein at Nizu's neck saying, I'm no longer a Midoriya, I'm a league's Beacuse. My mom didn't even try to contact me the entire time, so I wanna change my name to one of my teacher's family names, said Deku with slight venom when he said Midoriya. I'll ride league's. How will ya show them you're innocent? Like this, shooting a pink arrow using invasion. What was that? Asked class 1. It was my invasion power. It allowed me to show you my memories. It can do other stuff but I really don't like using those use powers. When they heard what they saw were his memories and knew they were wrong they felt Lao sheet and especially Uraraka Beacuse before the story began it happen like in the manga so she still had a crush on him. Class 1 were sore. Shut up you damn hypocrites, said Deku with his tier 1 demon mark making them think. What have we done to Midoriya/Izuku/Deku? What you guys did to me was betray me. Believe a stupid video more than me and Beacuse. Of that I lost my FNG left eye, stated Deku with his anger almost reaching Enoch to unconsciously activate his assault form. Hope I typed that correctly. Scaring then more. Deku-kun, shut it Urakara and don't call me that anymore. I despise that name now. Beacuse of you guys betrayed me. So what do we call you? Asked Nizu. My new hero name will be the Sin Hero. Why the Sin Hero? Asked Nizu curiously. Beacuse, my teachers were the 7 deadly sins and I have their powers. Alright, but what's happened with your left eye? Asked Nizu curiously. Oh you Beacuse, how much the guards protected me. The others felt jealous and well made a dagger and stabbed me in the eye, Deku said, which made his old class fell more sheet than before. I can regenerate it but I don't want a Beacuse. I want it to remind the ones who betrayed me do remember what they did to me. Welp Nizu, I have a request, said Deku. What's that? Asked Nizu confused. Welp, I want to fight class 1B and the big 3 at the same time, shocking Nizu, but he complained when everyone was walking to the gym for the battle. Urala Thoth. I will get my Deku-kun Thoth. Deku knew she thought that and it just made him more angry. Time skipped to the battle. Everyone in Boys Change Eames tried to apologize but he just used zero sign believe it was called that. It's the move Ban uses to make himself invisible to everyone else. And then in the gym when Deku had a new costume, it's the same costume. Add the cover for this story. Nice new costume, said Nejire while blushing. Thanks Nejire-kun. While blushing when the others saw it they were jealous. Welp, let's get started. I want to go on with my day, said Deku while being impatient. Note this was off camera but Mirio has one for all. At the start of the battle. Welp, time to start this, stated Deku as he grabbed the sacred staff Kurchaus and was in a fig thing stance. On your mark, get ready, go, screamed Aizawa as Deku used snatch with Kurchaus to grab Bakugo's gauntlets, surprising them, but Deku just answered, you know I can steal organs also and that includes the heart, instantly killing you. Everyone was terrified because they thought for revenge he would do it. But I want him not a killer unless you make me explode with anger, then yeah everyone in the city will be nothing left, shocking everyone who heard it. Now evryone attack. Nejire used her spiral quirk when it was max charge. Tamaki used a Kimari that fees Clam and Octopus and Koth. Deku and Miro used 28% of 1 for all, punching him to the face, but when he did Deku said, Spirit Spear Chastafol 5 form increase and activate its true foam to make 1000 of small blades and it cut Tamaki's tentacles and he grabbed Lost Vein and yelled, perfect counter, launching Nejire attack back with twice the force, but before it could hit Deku jumped and caught Nejire bridal style and protected her, making her blush madly and every man and Uraka looking jealously, and then he stadet. That attack would have seriously hurt you, so I stopped it and now you're out. Beacuse OD, how much that attack would have hurt you. Nejire agreed and left the battle while blushing. Then he activated his tier 1 demon mark and went and knocked the entirety of class 1B and stating, pathetic, even the beast quirk user and Tetsu couldn't handle 1% of my power, making everyone despair when they heard this. Then he grabbed the Morning Star Aldon and used a extremely weak exterminate ray, damaging Ida's leg, making small hole in Uraka's arm, Tokoyami side, Tsuya's upper leg, and others had holes in legs and other places, nosing them out. Now 3 left. Welp, time to activate my last divine weapon. I summoned the divine axe Rita and then shouted sacred treasure release, making the entire place be as hot as a sauna, then said cruel sun and shot it on the ground, breaking it. Only Bakugo and Mirio are awake, while in the team he uses his god's powers and heals everyone only to see a buff. Deku making every female blush madly, and they heard, "Good, you survived 1%. My power, let me give you a sample of 2%, said Deku with immense pride. Then, he continued to short jump that looked like teleporting and finger stabbed Bakugo, knocking him out. Then he looked at Mirio and said, "Spirit Spear Chastafol 2 Form Guardian," and suddenly a spear to end into a bear and just took the hit from 28% Mirio and knocked him out. Welp, that was a good tiny exercise. Welp, me guess it's time to explain what my powers are. And how I'm only 1/5 human now. Time skip. When Izuku finished explaining everything they couldn't believe Su, he showed them white evasion, how his life was in prison, how he met the 7 deadly sins and obtained his powers and weapons, and that they changed him into a 1/5 demon, giant, gods, fairy, and that magic and other races existed in the past and that the myth was actually real. Su, have any other questions? Asked Deku. One only. Did you can some changes in your personality beacuse? I see you're not the same before and that your habits are different, asked Nejire almost immediately. Rigged after the previous question. Yes, and I can cook now plus gant some of the other sins habit, and Merlin taught me a lot of knowledge when she teached me magic, so I am incredibly smart now, and Meliodas did teach him some stuff that I not proud of, in Dekus Mindscape. What did you teach him, Captain? Asked everyone. Welp, I did teach him some of my perverted techniques. WWE, why we accrete not do corrupt him. I hate time to spare, so I wanted him to have some experience when he needs it for the one for him. That makes sense, but still doesn't excuse you from what you did. Every sin takes their sacred treasures. While Elizabeth starts using arc. You sorry, please don't hurt me. Get back here, Meliodas / caption. Back into real world. And what are those, Sue? Asked Nejire while holding his head sideways curiously. I really don't wanna tell, maybe another time. Okay, while pouting said Nejire. Now Nizu, what about the one condition, and if I need a test for it I will gladly take it. What condition? Asked Uraka. Yes, 1 moment we will make the papers, and if you complete it then your 1 request will be fulfilled and 2-1 will also be fulfilled. Now for wait for tomorrow, and today you still have to deal with it, said Nizu while jumping. You are fine, welp, I'm gonna go cook something. Nejire, Bakugo, Mirio, Tomki, All Might, Aizawa and Nizu wanna join. Also Isan, why I ask only them is because when I showed the memories of the sins I saw that Nizu actually believed me a bit and that I wasn't the traitor, but Kulden RQ with the video, and All Might didn't wanna believe that his successor was a traitor before the video showed a certain someone who looked a lot like him, and it was fucked to believe he choose a successor, and Aizawa knew that someone who would sacrifice his arms for a kid couldn't be the traitor, but like the others they had no proof until Bakugo found the hero analyze books, and that was enough to prove him innocent, with some very close and every camera looking to see it. Was Himigo Toga, not Deku. Wait, you're not gonna cook for us, your own classmates, screamed Mineta. What do you think I would cook for people who didn't even that I was innocent and not the traitor? Then Yoru. Dead wrong, stadet Deku while he activated his demon mark tier 2 covering half of his body, scaring them. Aiden deactivating it, saying, "Su guys, you coming?" asked Deku. Coming. All FO them said, in Uraka's mind. I will definitely get my Dekukuin back even if I have to kill Nejire. Yes, I made Uraka a Yandra, it's my story, so I have no regrets. In class 1A dorm time skip. Welp, food's ready, come Aiden eat, shadet Deku. Wow, that smells incredibly, stadet everyone. Why I thank you, now eat up, stadet Deku. The food he makes is the food of the top pick. Time skip after food. That was some amazing food, young Leoness / Deku / Izuku / Izuku-chan. Thanks, I learned from Ban the Fox in. Wow, he was an amazing cook if you learn to cook as this. Yes, he was found out why turd class 1A. B that food looks delicate, have some leftovers, some ask. No, WY beacuse like I planned, I only made a knock for me. Nejire my girlfriend, Mirio, Tamaki, Bakugo, All Might, Aizawa and Nizu, stadet Deku to the saddens of everyone, and then they noticed Nejire was crimson red from Dekus commenting and in her head. She only thogeth what he said. Nejire my girlfriend, over and over again, and then when Deku found out why, he also turned red, but not as much as Nejire. The diasut went on as Deku and Nejire were hanging Oda ad kissing while Mirio and Tamaki were teasing them and were having fun, except when the others of class 1 tried to talk to him, which just made him mad. Welp, time to go visit them and see how Midoriya is doing. Are you ready, Koda? Koda. EXT Chapter 1, you'll introduce the wild pussycats, and the next chapter Deku will try to move do class 3A. The Sin Hero Deku, nejirexdeku, betrayed Death's Chapter 5, the test for class 3A and reunion with the wild PP cats. The next day. Time skip to the principal's office. Time skip after the test. Inside Dekus' mindscape. Hey Merlin, you scarred the kid, said Ban. No, I just made him incredibly smart with a lot of reading, answered Merlin. But you still gave him PTSD from your training, said Meliodas. I guess you're them gonna apologize when he arrives in here tonight, said Merlin. Good, said all Tay Sins and Elizabeth. Later that same day. Before he could exit, he opened the door to see the wild PP cats and Koda behind them. Hi Pixabob, Mandalay, Tiger, Ragdoll and Koda, how are you guys doing? Asked Deku. We're doing good. Where you going? Asked Pixabob. I'm going to go buy some stuff for my new room. Then Bakugo yelled, Ace going with a female so Ice basically a date? No, I is not. Deku yelled back, surprising the wild PP cats. Welp, it was good to see you, but we wouldn't want to keep your date waiting, said Mandalay while teasing. But before you go, look at what Koda's wearing. Looks like my shoes. Thous look like my own shoes. Seems like we have the same taste in shoes, Koda. Yen nothik Essel. Sure Koda, you definitely didn't say they had to be red, said Mandalay. No I didn't. This made Deku laugh and said, if I'm back before you guys go I would like to continue to talk, but now I have to go. Bye guys, said Deku as he exited. By the dash. Was thrown a dark blast from Deku. If you couldn't guess who it was thrown at, it was Uraka. By Izuku said. The others not wanting their heads almost taken off. What's with him? Asked Mandalay. Didn't you hear we foully branded him a traitor, so now he hates that nickname and only allows Bakugo to call him that, and he changed his last name to one of his teacher's names, said Ida. Oh, you okay? I saw that he had a scar in near his left eye. Was that from prison? Yes, all of them say at the same time. Previously on the Sin Hero Deku. Deku took the exam for joining class 3A and passed it with 100% correctly. Then after the whole anookment of it happening, the wild pussycats and Koda visited the school for class 1A and they talked a bit before Deku had to leave for his date. Now back to the story. At the entrance of Ua. Hi Aizachan, said Nejire while wearing a red dress. Wow, you look beautiful, said Deku with his mouth opened. Why you really think so, said Nejire while blushing deep red and looking. You also look great, said Njire, which made Deku blush. Then he said, thanks. Note this is what Dekus wearing. Also I'm not a W. This image does not follow our content guidelines. To continue publishing, please remove it or upload a different image. Wow, you look beautiful, said Deku with his mouth opened. Why you really think so, said Nejire while blushing deep red and looking. You also look great, said Njire, which made Deku blush. Then he said, thanks. Note this is what Dekus wearing. Also I'm not a washinist, so I just searched date suit and I found this. Wow, you look beautiful, said Deku with his mouth opened. Why you really think so, said Nejire while blushing deep red and looking. You also look great, said Njire, which made Deku blush. Then he said, thanks. Note this is what Dekus wearing. Also I'm not a W. This image does not follow our content guidelines. To continue publishing, please remove it or upload a different image. So shall we get going, Nejire-kun? Said sure, while taking Dekus' hand and buting it between her chest, making him blush more. At the mall. So are we going to go and find stuff for your new room? Asked Nejire, still holding Dekus' arm. Yeah, then we can go somewhere if you want, said Deku while scratching his cheek with a slight blush. So like a date? Asked Nejire, white a slightly deeper blush. Yeah, let's make it a date, said Deku with a smile. Well, why our first date? Screamed Nejire. Not so loud, people are staring, said Deku. Ups, my bad. Welp, let's get going so we can go on a date, said Nejire with a blush that is getting deeper. Yeah, and then they went to a store that had furniture and other stuff. Yeah, I'm just gonna add a pic at the end of the chapter of how Dekus' new room will look because I don't really wanna make side chapter as long as the rest because of reasons so do the date. After Tay shopping stuff for his room. Esu wanna go and eat something or go watch a movie first, said Deku. I think movie then eating and then we go buy some new clutches for me, asked Nejire with puppy dog eyes. Sure, I can't say no to tot face, said Deku, which made Nejire blush more. Thanks, while hugging Deku and put his head on her chest, which made his entire face deep crimson red, and Nejire also while noticing what she did. Sorry, said Njire while looking away. Then saw think happened. Deku took her cheek and kissed her, and she kissed back. You know I didn't mind it, and maybe I'll eat you later today, while biting her ear making her a bit. Sure, but first let's go to the movie, then we can talk about this later, aid Nejire while thinking about what he just said, making her more blush. Now what movie do you wanna watch, asked Deku. Why not the Sonic movie, haven't seen it yet, said Nejire still blushing. Sure, and of course I don't wanna spoil the movie, so skip to the eating. Sorry for skipping so much this chapter. After Tay movie. So how did you like the movie, asked Deku. I liked it a lot. What about you, asked Nejire. I think it was a really great movie, definitely not my opinion XD. So wanna go and eat something now, asked Deku. Sure, let's go now, there was a restaurant I wanna go do. Then lead Tay way milady, said Deku while bowing. How cute, thought Nejire. Welp, fall off me Aizu, said Nejire as she noticed what she just said, and she then apologized a lot before Deku said, don't worry, I actually like you calling me that. SW's made Nejire hug him and say, okay Aizu, welp, let's go, said Nejire while leading with him while holding his arm. At the restaurant. Welp, this looks fancy, said Deku. And Nejire agreed with him. Welp, let's get a table and order something, said Deku while they were walking to a table they selected and were waiting for a order to be taken, and when it was they just waited for their food and talked to each other until they heard, your orders good customers, said a waiter. The both of them said, thank you, note this is what food they eat. Welp, this looks fancy, said Deku, and Nejire agreed with him. Welp, let's get a table and order something, said Deku while they were walking to a table they selected and were waiting for a order to be taken, and when it was they just waited for their food. This image does not follow our content guidelines. To continue publishing, please remove it or upload a different image. Nejire's food. Deka's food. Welp, I didn't expect the size difference to be so big, also am not even sure if I choose correctly, but oh you well. Now back to the story. This image does not follow our content guidelines. To continue publishing, please remove it or upload a different image. Deka's food. Welp, I didn't expect the size difference to be so big, also am not even sure if I choose correctly, but oh you well. Now back to the story. After the food. Welp, let's get going, I wanna buy some new clothes, said Nejire excitedly. Wait for me, said Deku. They reached the clothes shop and Nejire told Deku to stay and let her change and that she wants she opinion on the clutches. Welp, let's get going, I wanna buy some new clothes, said Nejire excitedly. Wait for me, said Deku. They reached the clothes shop and Nejire told Deku to stay and let her change and that she wants she opinion on the clutches. This image does not follow our content guidelines. To continue publishing, please remove it or upload a different image. So how do I look, said Nejire with slightly tilted head and a smile. I think it looks great and fits you perfectly, answered Deku with a small blush. Thanks, I'm glad you like it. Now for the next one I'll be rigged back, said Nejire. What do you think of this one inch, asked Nejire with slight blush because of the skirt. I think it matches your eyes perfectly and bring out your hair color, answered Deku with the blush getting deeper. Ah, thanks, you're so sweet Aizu, said Nejire. I have two This image does not follow our content guidelines. To continue publishing, please remove it or upload a different image. What do you think of this 1 inch, asked Nejire with slight blush because of the skirt. I think it matches your eyes perfectly and bring out your hair color, answered Deku with the blush getting deeper. Ah, thanks, you're so sweet Aizu, said Nejire. I have 2 more. Then it's your turn to buy clothes, said Nejire. Wait, when did I agree to buy clothes, thought Deku. Yes, say what you think bluntly this time please, asked Nejire while smiling. I've been doing that the entire time, but okay, said Deku, which shocked Nejire. I think though you shows match and the jacket looks good on you and the shirt is a bit to revel. This image does not follow our content guidelines. To continue publishing, please remove it or upload a different image. Yes, say what you think bluntly this time please, asked Nejire while smiling. I've been doing that the entire time, but okay, said Deku, which shocked Nejire. I think though you shows match and the jacket looks good on you and the shirt is a bit too reveling so can you please not tilt down or I'll see your chest, said Deku with his eyes closed. This comment made Nejire reach god levels of red beacuse. She just noted this, I'll ride one more than eper turn, said Nejire while quickly closing the curtain. Yes, say what you think bluntly this time please, asked Nejire while smiling. I've been doing that the entire time but okay, said Deku which shocked Nejire. I think though you shows match and the jacket looks good on you and the shirt is a bit too revel. This image does not follow our content guidelines. To continue publishing, please remove it or upload a different image. Sue, what do you think? Asked Nejire slightly embarrassed. I have nothing to say. I think that everything's perfect with the dress you. I only have one word, wow. This made Nejire blush and said stupid while Luckthult punching him. Now it's your turn to buy clothes, said Nejire as she stubbies back to the red dress. Please don't comment on my choices as Deku went and grabbed his ones. Alright, here is what I chose. This image does not follow our content guidelines. To continue publishing, please remove it or upload a different image. This image does not follow our content guidelines. To continue publishing, please remove it or upload a different image. This image does not follow our content guidelines. To continue publishing, please remove it or upload a different image. I think though use clouds look great on you, said Nejire. Hey, I told you not do comment of what I chose, said Deku. I cold and help it you just looked so cute, said Nejire while blushing. Thanks, said Deku while madly blushing. Now let's buy the clothes. This image does not follow our content guidelines. To continue publishing, please remove it or upload a different image. I think though use clouds look great on you, said Nejire. Hey, I told you not do comment of what I chose, said Deku. I cold and help it you just looked so cute, said Nejire while blushing. Thanks, said Deku while madly blushing. Now let's buy the clothes and get some ice cream and let's go back to you, said Deku. Okay, I want strawberry, said Nejire while jumping. Please don't jump, I can't look at you when you jump, said Deku while looking away and making Nejire hold her hands in front of her chest. At the ice cream place. I want to buy one strawberry and a chocolate ice cream, asked Deku. Here you go, ice cream man. They both took her ice cream and started walking to UA with their stuff. Sue, how do you like it? Nejire? It tastes delicate. What about you? Said Nejire. I think it is incredible. Hey, wanna take a bit of each other ice cream, said Nejire while starting to blush. Sure, here you go, said Deku while thinking. What am I doing? This is basically a indirect kiss. This is too much. The same goes for Nejire. In Deku's mindscape. Wow, that's one hot chick he caught there, ain't it, Captain? Said Ban. Yeah, but we already have found our love and soulmate Sue. Let's hope she's the one for him, don't ya agree, guys? We do, they all said. Back in the real world. Sue, how'd you like it? Asked Deku while madly blushing, reaching to god level of red. I liked it. Chocolate tasted good, said Nejire while almost similar level of blushing as Deku but less. How'd you like my strawberry ice cream? Asked Nejire. I liked it a lot, answered Deku. Then they both kissed each other and both said in unison, Welp, let's get back to you so we can get my / your new room ready. Both laughed of what just happened but they didn't notice a cheesnut girl behind them while being extremely angry and jealous and thinking, I will get Deku-kun back even if I have to kill you, Nejire Hato. And the misterioso Yanara is Uraka. Yeah, I made Uraka a Yandra. She's extremely jealous of Deku if she sees older females with him and being too close, so I see no reason not to make her a Yandra. Sue, how'd you like it? Asked Deku while madly blushing, reaching to god level of red. I liked it. Chocolate tasted good, said Nejire while almost similar level of blushing as Deku but less. How'd you like my strawberry ice cream? Asked Nejire. I liked it a lot. This image does not follow our content guidelines. To continue publishing, please remove it or upload a different image. New Rooms of Death. Well, that's all for this chapter. Note, I will only make one day chapter every series I make because I don't like cheesy stuff and I can't think of more than this one time OT saying they won't go on other dates. Tei will just off screen with some small text of important parts. Now back to the ending next time on the Sin Hero Deku. New hero name and lemon? Bonus chapter power levels. Note, I do this because I still haven't decided how the next chapter will go on and how I will do it, so I'll just do this for fun now. Do the power levels. Izuku. Base form 5607. At 1% base form whiteout any other powers. 3,456 physical power / 352 magical power / 1799 defense. Tier 1 Demon Mark 168,000 / 156248 physical power / 5240 magic power / 6512 defense. Tier 2 Demon Mark 249,800 / 175,700 physical power / 32,514 magical power / 41586 defense. Full Demon Mark 350,000 / 24,093 physical power / 5,453 magical power / 5,454 defense. Assault Mode 676,530 / 40,000 physical power / 13,450 magical power / 14203 defense. Demon King Mode 100,000 / 565,000 physical power / 145,268 magical power / 131262 defense. Full Fairy King Form 976520 / 5,000 physical power / 854,289 magical power / 117231 defense. Full Giant Form 567900 / 690440 with Heavy Metal / 40022 physical power / 13,546 magical power / 153,334 defense / 636,872 defense with Heavy Metal. Gods Form 698,030 / 14500 physical power / 642885 magical power / 40645 defense. The 1 / Can't Measure Sunshine doesn't have a power Elval Alwis Te same. The ultimate 1 / In my opinion the ultimate one is a 5 times power up from the 1. Form Deku can't achieve yet, but I'll just say this: it's more powerful than the ultimate one and Demon King form. That's the end of Izuku. A new enemy not introduced yet. Let's just say this character is gonna be the main villain of the series. Class 1, altogether 1250 / 205 physical power / 652 defense. This high defense beacuse Kirishima's unbreakable odor wise it would be 243 393 quirk power. The big 3. Nejire Hado 1490 / 682 quirk power full charged attack 241 defense / 567 quirk power. Tamaki Amajiki 1245 / 201 physical power / 352 defense / 692 quirk power. Mirio Togata 1 for all 28% 2453 / 800 physical power / 346 defense / 1307 quirk power. This is the quirk's full potential, otherwise Mirio would be weaker. All Might 100% 4567 / 3500 physical power / 500 defense power / 567 quirk power. Note: Sai is the All Might after all for one battle AK when he caught his injury, otherwise he would be much stronger. All of the UA teachers not including All Might 2456 / 1456 physical / 200 defense / 800 quirk. Now for the last one, beacuse. I need to think of how I want the next chapter to go. All for 15767 / 3456 physical / 340 defense / 1971 quirk. And that's all of the power levels of characters I plan to include or were important in my opinion. Agith Thoju, who were shown by name, will Reaper in story, but not all for one. He's dead next time. Actual chapter Tamaro. Chapter 7 New Hero Name and Lemon. Last time on the Sin Hero Deku, he went on a date with Nejire and bought stuff for his new room, but they didn't notice a brown hired girl was stalking them. Now back to the story. Also by the title you can figure out at the end of this chapter there's gon' be lemon sue. If you're not 18 plus or don't wanna lose your innocence, leave. If you are your choice. If you wanna stay. I'm gonna go to Principal Nizu and ask him, can I change my hero name and if he can show me to my new dorm, said Deku while they just react. You. Really, what are you gonna change your hero name into? Asked Nejire curiously. The Sin Hero Beacuse. I was trained by the 7 deadly sins and Elizabeth, answered Deku with a small smile. I think that name fits with how you currently are the successor to the 7 deadly sins and that you use their powers, said Nejire while smiling. Thanks, now I have to go see Nejire later. By Aizu, Deku used the move teleport. At the principal's office. Well, let's talk about how are we gonna fix the current news 6 dash. Before Nizu could finish, Deku appeared suddenly in front of him, giving him a jump scare. Hi young Izuku, what do I owe the pleasure today? Asked Nizu. I wanna chant my hero name, answered Deku. To what? Asked Nizu curiously. I want my hero name to be the Sin Hero Beacuse of who trained me and whose powers I have, answered Deku seriously. Makes sense, and is that all? Asked Nizu. No remember condition too? Asked Deku. Yes, if you wanna know if it's done. Yes, your room is soundproof, answered Nizu. Great, thanks, said Deku happily. I'll go get my stuff and then use powers to complete my room. See Nizu, said Deku happily, but when he left, every teacher thought, why does he need a soundproof room? He isn't gonna torture them, is he? In front of his old room. Welp, let's get cleaned up and get going. 1 hour later. Welp, done. Now let's teleport to Nejire and ask her to show me to my new room. Stadet Deku, are you really going away? Asked Bakugo. No, I'll still visit, or you can visit me and I'll hang out or train and even cook again for you, stadet Deku while holding his hand up for a fist bum. Yes, see you then, said Bakugo while smirking, fist bumming Deku's fist. Welp, see, I'm gonna get my new room set then go visit Eri Beacuse. I haven't done that yet, said Deku. Yeah, you should probably visit her, she missed you a lot, answered Bakugo. Welp, by Kaken, by Deku. Deku teleported after he went into his room and saw it was cleared out, but one thing with a note saying, if you get hungry for my food tonight, here is one, also it doesn't need to be reheated, I used fire magic to keep it warm, was written on the note. Thanks you damn nerd, said Bakugo. In front of his new room. Well, this is my new room, they actually made it bigger and by quite a bit, and now time to message Nejire and see if it's soundproof. One text talk later. Sue, what do you want me here for? Aizu, asked Nejire, confused why he called her here. Just stay out here and tell me if you hear any noise, said Deku. Okay, said Nejire, confused. Deku went inside, recorded with his phone how he screamed, how I hope this room is soundproof 10 times. He walked out and asked Nejire if he heard anything, and she answered no. Then Deku plays the recording and she covered her ears how loud it was. Wow, that room is very spund-proof. But before Neji could say anything else, Deku bite her ear and said, since we have a free day today, why don't I just eat you? Whispered Deku in Nejire's ear. Then suddenly Nejire kissed him full of love and went inside his room and closed the door. Finale warning, leave now or else I will read a +18 text. Slowly they went onto his bed and the kiss started turning more lustful and Deku started playing with Nejire's breasts while she started going down for his crotch. In Deku's mindscape. Okay everyone, let's leave for a bit and not look Beacuse, this isn't a moment for use to watch, said Meliodas. Yeah, let's get out of here and return later before they get due base too, answered Ban. Welp, let's G-dash. But before Meliodas could finish, the others already left. Welp, let's follow them, said Meliodas. Rigged behind you caption, said Ban. In the real world. They were still kissing, but Deku's private spots started getting harder while Nejire getting more hornier, so she couldn't take it anymore and pushed Deku onto the bed and took off her shirt and bra and but his face on her melons while Brea think heavily. Then she coughed of him and started to take her breathes and underwear of, and Deku did the same. Then Nejire went with her mouth and but it in her mouth and starting sking it. Nejire, you're do rough, said Deku, but with a hint of pleasure, but Nejire just started doing it faster and sued her tongue and made him feel more pleasure until, Nejire, I'm gonna come, but Nejire didn't stop, and just before he was gonna come she started to let go of his crotch from her mouth, but suddenly Deku grabbed her head and put his crotch back into her mouth and let it out inside her mouth. Ah, that felt good, said Deku while breathing heavily. And your juice tasted great, wanna go to the next stage? Asked Nejire with a lustful look, and her eyes said, even if not I will still continue. But before that Deku asked Nejire the two most important question in his life. Do you have protection or a pill? Because I'm still 16 and not out of you, asked Deku while thinking, even if she doesn't I'll just continue. Don't worry, I have pills so I don't need protection, let's get this start, said Nejire while pushing Deku onto the bed again and was on top of him, putting his think into her and miming with pleasure, saying, ah, your think is so big I can barely fit it inside me. said Nejire, and then she started moving, which made her loudly note, "You can see why I made the two condition a soundproof room," and Deku started to squace the bed to keep him in control to not force Nejire to go past her limit, but something snapped, and when Nejire started moving faster, Deku took her hip and started moving Nejire in his own passe. What are you doing, Aizu?" asked Nejire surprised, but she didn't get an answer, only started miming and saying, "Forget I asked, do me harder, I wanna fell you more, do me harder," pleaded Nejire, and Deku complained, but when he was about to come he moved it inside her fully and then he commied into her womb. "Wow, you're still so stiff even though it's your first time and you seem like, oh, you done it before, please don't tell me you did it with someone before me, also your juice is so hot and warm inside me, it feels great," said Nejire while hugging Deku. "Remember that think I said I don't wanna tell anyone what one of my ancestors more practical Meliodas teached me," said Deku. Answered Nejire, "Welp, he was a pervert and I caught their memories and I know how to make someone feel good and learnt someone his perverted habits, but I've been appealed to keep them in check, but I don't know for how long I could get addicted to this," said Deku. "You don't have to Rory, whenever you want I'll do it and I'll be glad to because how good it feels, I want do to it more," pleaded Nejire. "You took the words rigged out of my mouth," said Deku, and suddenly Deku was on top and this surprised Nejire and she thought, "What is he gonna do to me?" Then Deku flipped her but in front of him and started doing her dogi style while saying, "Let's see how good you fell while I'm in control." Then he started moving harder inside her and her M's increased in pleasure and how loud they were. "Please do it, do me harder, do me more, I want it more, give me more of your come, do me harder," pleaded Nejire, "as you wish, my love." Then suddenly Deku started doing her 2 times harder, surprising Nejire, but she didn't complain, only went with it. Deku said, "Nejire, I'm gonna come, do it inside my, but I want your come inside me again, please let it go in me, as you wish," answered Deku. Then he moved his crotch inside Nejire with all his force and started playing with Nejire's melons while biting her neck. Then he let his astrum out because he couldn't hold it anymore. Then he fell right next to Nejire and put his hand on her cheek and kissed her and asked her, "So are you pleased or do you wanna go one more time?" "Why once when I can go on for 4 more times," said Nejire while holding Deku. "Okay, but this time I'm goin' let it go inside your vna," stated Deku. "Yes, please do," asked Nejire. Then Nejire was put onto the bed and Deku spread her legs and put his think inside her vna and started moving while playing with her beauty and biting them while Nejire said, "Don't bite them, it feels too good." "Then why would I stop when it makes you feel so good?" asked Deku. "Because if you do I'm gonna come," answered Nejire. "Good, then I'm gonna cotton in you doing it," while starting to do Nejire harder and started to nib Bell on her neck and playing with the tips of her nips. "Aizu, I'm gonna come," said Nejire while her ms were as loud as Deka's screams before. "Let it out, don't hold back," answered Deku. "But wait, come with me," asked Deku. "Sure, Aizu, when are you gonna come, because I can't hold on much longer," said Nejire. "Well, I can't go on without Kumig much longer also, so let's just let it go," stated Deku. "Alright then, let's do it now," pleaded Nejire. "As you wish, my love," said Deku. Then they both came and were hugging each other when they cummed. "So wanna continue or take a 5-minute break?" asked Deku. "Are you kidding? I don't wanna stop yet, I still wanna continue." "As you wish, my love, but this time you're in cage," said Deku. "Alright, Aizu, then let's see how you feel when I'm in control." Then they did it for 3 more times and then they fell on Koniu's and they fell on Koniu's while still naked and Deka's crotch was still inside Nejire. Welp, this is the end of my first lemon chapter. The next one will be Yandere Uraraka and a Pist of DE next time. Chapter 8, Yandere Uraraka vs. Set of Deku. Previously on the Sin Hero DU changed Shihiro and Mdate Sin Hero, and when it was done and it was clear that his room was soundproof, he ate Nejire up and passed out after the 6th time. Now we continue with the story. Deku woke up noticing something heavy on him, and when he looked he saw a naked Nejire and blushed, but then decided to wake her up by poking her cheeks a bit. "In 5 more minutes," said a sleepy Nejire. "Nejire, you're on top of me," said Deku with a slight grin. Hearing this, Nejire remembered what they did yesterday and blushing madly and then jumped of him and took a pill from her bag, swallowing it, saying, "Hope it isn't too late or I'll be in trouble," said Nejire. "Even if you're pregnant I'll keep the child safe. Because nothing of this world can beat me. Welp, let's just see about that in the next chapter. You over pridful BSD. Also note I studet this world, it means other world have better change, yeah?" said Nejire while hugging him. "Yeah, I'm just gonna skip classes unnels, there's a battle happening so to after classes." "After classes?" Hey guys, wanna train together, suggested Deku. But we'll just be your punching bags, said all of the big three in unison. Don't worry, I'll just help you increase your power and not fight back beacuse, otherwise if I get too carried away I'll blow a hole into your body. This fact is real. Beacuse Meliodas at start of the series could to it do a ban who is stronger than them. After hearing this all of them had a cold shiver in their spine. Alright, but I seen you can heal Sue. If ya accidentally hit use please aim for the hand, pleaded Mirio while everyone shook their heads and responds. Okay, cough it. Also I'm calling Kakin to train Beacuse. I want him to be stronger also, stated Deku while the others agree. Welp, let's get going now, said Deku. Yeah, time to train, said Nejire. At the training field. Let me get this straight, we can punch explode or take your head off without killing you, asked Bakugo while stretching. Yeah, Beacuse am basically immortal. I note again, basically note his age won't kill me, but if all 7 hearts are stabbed I will die, but am confident they won't, said Deku. Welp, let's get start, said Bakugo while making mini explosions. One long day of training later. And I think that's enough for today. How about we train tomorrow also, but Rigth now how about I cook us something to eat, said Deku while regenerating from Bakugo's explosions. When they heard this all of them smiled. Beacuse, they loved Dekus cooking. Beacuse ban teached him how to cook. Welp, are we gonna go to the 3 dorms or 1? Asked Deku. They thought about it a bit but decided to go to class 1A rooms. Beacuse, even though they betrayed Deku, the big 3 are still on good terms with them. Beacuse Deku is still alive and stronger. Sue. They only hate a few of them but not all of them. Sue to class 1A, this is gonna be a pain, said Deku while scratching his neck. Mirio, can you please go get Eri? I wanna talk with her again after a long time, asked Deku. Sure, just let me go get her. Also don't worry, I know you're the strongest on the planet physically, but I seen mentally you're unstable and you said that if your anger exploded you could destroy everything in the city without a way to stop it. Sue, I just wanna say we're here for you as emotional support, said Mirio as he left. Yeah, what Mirio said, and I'll always be here for you, said Nejire as she hugged Deku from behind. Go get a room if you're gonna do it for the first time you people, said Bakugo. Actually Kakin, we already did it yesterday, said Deku while blushing. Not even gonna ask, let's just get to the dorm and get food please, asked Bakugo. Sure Kakin, let's get going, said Deku as he was walking to class 1A dorms. At the dorm. Welp, I'm gonna start making the food while Mirio brings Eri and you guys talk, said Deku as he walked into the kitchen. Well, how are you guys doing, asked Nejire. I'm good, still sad that we betrayed Izuku like that, hope he forgives us, said Ida while doing robot movements with his arms. You know that will take a long time. Beacuse of what you guys did hurt him badly and only 4 people believed he was innocent and 3 didn't believe it until they saw the fake video, said Bakugo while the others could only agree with him. Do you think he can cook us some food also this time, asked Kirishima. Maybe, but I don't want you guys to have hope, said Tamaki. I'm gonna go ask him if he will cook you guys also some food, said Nejire as she was using her quirk to fly where he is. Hey Aizu, the others want you to make them some food also, said Nejire as she put her head on his shoulder. Fine, I'll make some food for them also, but only Beacuse you asked, stated Deku while he sighed a bit. Beacuse, they still want to be friends. Even though he saved them a lot and protected them, but Beacuse one false evidence showed him doing it. They believed it even though his actions showed that he would never be the traitor. Go tell the others I'll make them some food also. Okay Aizu. Then Nejire returned to where the others are and she said, he agreed to make you guys some food also. Then everyone yelled, Yees, W only heard how good his food is, now we can taste it. Please don't yell. When they turned their heads they saw Eri on Mirio's shoulder. Sorry Eri. But Izuku will be happy to see you again, said Mirio with smile. Do you really think so? Asked Eri while being happy to see Deku again. Time skipped while eating. Welp, here is the food, said Deku, but then he noticed Eri and said, Hi Eri, how are you doing? Then Eri hugged him. I missed you, said Eri while saying, I missed you also, now let's eat, said Deku, and all of them agreed to eat. After the food. Wow, that was food of the gods, said Kirishima while the others agreed. Do you guys really like my food that much? Said Deku while scratching his cheek. Then they all yelled, Yes, thanks, said Deku. Before he could continue someone walked inside and said, Hi Dek dash. Before she could finish she had a small blade of darkness in front of her neck and then he said, Why did you have to come? I was just enjoying my time here before you showed up. Then he pulled back the blade of darkness. Do Dekus, questioned she. Answered, Nothing else, but I wanna talk with Nejire in private. Why? asked Deku. Beacuse I just wanna, answered Uraraka. Don't worry I'll be back soon, said Nejire while hugging him. This made Uraraka angry, but didn't think about it because she knew Deku could find out what she was planning and just played it of, welp let's get going. In front of the UA. Sue what do you wanna talk about Uraraka? Asked Nejire while wondering why she called her here. Oh you nothing just wanted to say stay away from Deku-kun or else what Uraraka he's already mine and he's no longer his version he lost that last knife. Hearing this Uraraka took out a small pocket knife and stabbed Nejire in the side while saying, then die if you're gone Deku-kun will be mine. But as she says this she hears footsteps and they were not good. She turned around to see the one person she did not wanna see Rigth now. Deku and I can explain, but she failed to notice she had the knife still in her hand. Oh you really then why did you stab my girlfriend and if it's a good reason I may leave it alone, stated Deku as his full demon mark started to show. So spite it out why did you stab her, grabbing Uraraka by the head squeezing her skull. Well if you're not gonna answer I'll find out myself invasion. And what he saw finally made him snap. 1 you betray me, 2 you try to kill the person I love and now you try to play innocent you disgusting whore, said Deku as he had a face full of anger and then he said, alright it's time to end this. Then he had a wicked smile on his face. Sue what do you wanna talk about Uraraka? Asked Nejire while wondering why she called her here. Oh you nothing just wanted to say stay away from Deku-kun or else what Uraraka he's already mine and he's no longer his version he lost that last knife. This image does not follow our content guidelines. To continue publishing, please remove it or upload a different image. Just imagine Deku not Meliodas. Then he went to Nejire as he used his god's powers to heal her and save her life, then activated a perfect cube so she couldn't hurt Nejire anymore. Then Deku said, be Rigth back I need to let some anger out. Then he used teleport to go to a place where 0 lives are and let all his anger go. I would put a gif but I don't know how the same anger burst that destroyed an entire kingdom. After this he thought, glad I felt something was wrong. Flashback. Guys I'm gonna go follow them I felt like something bad is gonna happen, said Deku as he stood up and followed them while using 0 sign. But what he saw was that Uraraka put a pocket knife into Nejire's stomach and when I saw this I snapped and turned off 0 sign and activated my full demon mark and started walking to her and while only thinking, alright enough is enough said but first I have to heal Nejire and then let loose in an isolated place and it explode then return here. After his anger exploded. I returned you damn whore now it's time for you do suffer, Deku said this while waking to Uraraka. And no please don't I'm sorry I won't do it again, pleaded Uraraka. Do you think I would believe you after this? No it's time to torture you, said Deku while started punching Uraraka not with enough power to blast a hole through her but he continued with pucking her in the face breaking her bones then went and punched her in the gut then he uppercutted sentang her The others were going to find them to see why. Are they taking so long? What they saw horrified them but they were about to attack Deku before they noticed Nejire in a perfect cube. Then they noticed that he is set off and decided to let him beat her half to death. But when she was beaten half to death Deku went in front of her and healed her then started beating her up again but this time he used Hellblaze and used Lost Vein and stabbed Uraraka while using enchant Hellblaze burning her insights. And this continued until the 20th time he used all of the sacred treasures using them to beat her always to half to death. The last time he only healed her half and left her damaged. Then he released the perfect cube around Nejire and picked her up bridal style and only saying to Uraraka, if you ever show up in front of me again the next time Illinois sent you to purgatory and I'll say this that place is worse than the pain you just felt so you better stay away from me and Nejire. Then Deku walked away while bringing Nejire to his room and kissing her forehead and saying, hope you wake up tomorrow so that I can talk with you again so I can kiss you again. I don't want to live a day without you while seeing. In Deku's mindscape. We returned 3 hours ago and we see him torturing a brown-haired girl because she stabbed his girlfriend, Stadet Diane while being in shock how the sweet Deku turned a complete 180 in personality for his love. Let's just hope no one messes with that girl otherwise next time I don't think Izuku would hold himself back and just end up killing that person, said Elizabeth while being worried for Deku and that if this continued he may not be able to keep his anger in check and may actually kill everyone in sight. Let's just hope he's a good kid, said Eliodas while the others agreed. Welp, this is my longest chapter, yet I decided to keep Uraraka's beat up mkinimal. I could have gone far worse, but I decided to keep it lithe. So yeah, next time on the Sin Hero do you a new opponent. Chapter 9, the new villain, Traji. Note beacuse of my lag of sleep and my alzines to finish this 3043 word chapter, mostly beacuse. I was sleepy. This chapter is 3 days late. I have just one word. I'm a bit sorry, but I have no regrets. Also don't play the music until there's a big text saying play the music. I thought it fit. Previously on the Sin Hero you trained with the Big Three and Bakug, and they went to the Class 1A dorms and made them food, but when Uraraka shows up and asks Nejire to talk with her privately, she stabbed her Aiden. When you saw this, he had Enoch and beat her half to death 12 times. And now back to the story. After the event that happened with Uraraka, she was expelled from UA, and with his already unstable mindset, Deku revealed to everyone that the true traitor was Mineta. Reason why is because the League promised him a loot of women. Yeah, I just think Beacuse's quirk has zero combat use basically, and he is a pervert. He is the traitor. He was also exiled plus sent to Tartarus, and the school was given a 2-week break but unowned too. The new threat is Rick around the corner and will strike today. And Nejire woke up the next day. Hi Aizu, how you doing after what happened yesterday? Said Nejire while buting his head on her chest. Please, I don't want to remember what happened yesterday. I almost lost you. Please just don't talk about it, pleaded Deku while he grabbed Nejire's shoulders and squeezed them. Alright, I won't bring it up again, but I can see your mental stability is worse than before. If this goes on, I don't think you'll be the Aizu I fell in love with anymore. So please stay the way you always have. And also, when will you choose to recover your left eye? Asked Nejire. I don't know if the one can be promised, and your 2 question is a matter of time if I forgive them, but I don't know how long that will take. Answered Deku. Alright, but now we have to go do class and get ready, otherwise we'll be late. Then Nejire let go of Deku's head. Okay, I'll get ready for classes. Meet you in front of the dorms. In front of the dorms. Hi Izuku, said Mirio while waved at him. How are you holding up from yesterday? He asked, but he only caught a cold stare from Deku, and he answered, please don't bring it up anymore. I don't know how many times I can be reminded of that event before exploding from anger, and this time I don't think I can stop myself from killing her. After hearing this, they all stayed quiet, and in classes it was awkward because Deku only answered the teacher's questions, but otherwise he just stayed quiet and his eyes looked broken inside like they needed something to fix them. After classes. Hey Izuku, wanna go hang out with us? Tamaki asked while hopping for a yes, but Deku only answered, sure, sounds fun, but his eyes looked still dead inside. Seeing this, the others hoped they could revive the happy-go-lucky Deku who was their friend, but it doesn't look like it will work. Not known to them, someone was stalking Deku and thinking, he's the successor to the Sins. Welp, I have to say he's decent in strength, but I can see he can't wield it probably, and am disappointed, but I guess he will be Goto Enoch for a warm-up, or even I have to try a bit if he pushes himself a bit over the limit, but I'm not counting on it. So have fun on this day. It will be the last day you will have while still being alive. At the city. Sue, what do you wanna go first? Play some games, suggested Mirio. Sure / why not / okay, said all of them. After playing a bit of games, they went to eat some food and they finished it and started walking back to the dorms. Sue, how was today? Asked Mirio. It was fun. Answered Deku. They noticed that his eyes still seemed dead inside before they could say anything. Deku grabbed Lost Vein and went in front of Nejire and blocked her attack, and his eyes turned from being dead to being furries. Who dares try to attack her? Said Deku while having a lot of venom in his voice, scarring the others near him. My name is Dabera, the successor to 10 Commandments, and I have a quarter of the Demon King's power. Yeah, I just thought of the name. I'm not good at names. What the 10 Commandments and the Demon King sheet? This is gonna be trouble, said Deku while worrying if he could win. Who are the 10 Commandments and he has quarter of the Demon King's power? How? The Sins were a group made for the purpose to defeat the Commandments, and the Commandments have a total of half of the Demon King's power in total plus a quarter. I don't know if I can beat him. When the others heard this, they were shocked to hear of what power this person has and were scarred that even Deku is worried he can't win. Guys run to UA and say that no one must come out, otherwise they'll just hold me back. No, we're not leaving you, said Nejire while singing, but before she could say more, Deku hit her neck and she fell unconscious. Take Nejire, I will fight them, I promise. You will return, Izuku, said Tamaki. That is something I can't promise. Now go, otherwise I'll force you to leave. With his full demon mark showing, they left with an unconscious Nejire on Mirio's back. So you choose to fight me 1v1 admirable, but you know you can't kill me or even fight me because of my commandment of pacifism, said Dabera. Yes I have Merlin's infinity so I don't age plus Ban's immortality so I want die to that commandment, answered Deku while having hint of pride in his voice. Because he took of the amulet and activitet sunshine note, this is afternoon so know the one or the ultimate one hope you can make me break a sweet, said Dabera as he was taunting Deku. Oh you I will, answered him as he charged him with the divine axe Rita. In front of you 13-minute time skip. We're here let's hope the others don't ask what happened, said Tamaki, his Mirio. Tamaki I have a question why is there a unconscious Nejire on your back? When they looked where the voice was from they noticed all of the teachers and the director. So why is she unconscious? Asked Nizu. I can't tell you Izuka made him promise not to tell anyone what is happening, answered Mirio. What is young Leonester need to keep hiding? Pressured Nizu for them to speak. I can't tell you, why not? Because Izuka doesn't want anyone to go there so he can focus on fixing the person there, answered Tamaki. Wait there's someone he is trying to keep us away how strong is that person? Asked Aizawa. We don't know we only know he has 10 commandments and they have together half of the Demon King's power and the sins were created just to fight the commandments and he also has a quarter of the Demon King's power also. While saying this all of them AHD their mouths open wide because of what they just heard then Nizu spoke up. He is correct if we join him we just hold him back so let's just hope he can beat him. As he said that they heard a loud crash that woke Nejire up and what they saw horrified them more on that later. Time rewind to the battle Deku versus Dabera. Play the music at the top. So you're using that weapon first but it's past noon so you're not gonna be anywhere near as strong as you could, said Dabera. I know but it should be a good test to see how good you are, as he said he used Cruel Sun and shot it at Dabera but he only caught it and stopped it while saying, not bad I actually felt that now my turn, as he disappeared and was in front of Deku punching him on the chin sending him FNG. Seems like Rita is not gonna work because I don't have the same amount of power saved up as Escaner Su time to change weapons and I know Gideon won't work because I'm currently stronger than him with it Welp time to use Morning Star Aldon because it's currently stronger than him with Rita but still not by much. Then Deku changed the axe for a sphere. So you're gon' use Aldon good let's see what you can do, said Dabera as he charged at Deku. Exterminate Ray plus Infinity. Said him but as it was colliding with Dabera just blocked it and saying, so I should take you a bit more seriously I am E2. Use 10% of my power. Hearing this Deku quickly made up his mind and transform into a fairy while using Arc from God's part causing Dabera to scream in pain but Todd only lasted a moment then he smirked and said, that hurt you BSRD. Deku used the 8 form of Chastifol and protected himself then used the 2 true form of Chastifil and a giant muscular bear with 6 arms apeard 8 and it went blow with Dabera deciding to take it more seriously by using 15% of his power overpowering the giant bear then the kicked the bear and it crashed onto Deku. Well you're making me use more power than I thought but you're still nowhere near even half my power. After saying this Dabera started laughing sadistically, Spirit Spear Chastifil 2 form increase. As when he said the bear turned into multipile blades and Dabera just punched every blade without a problem then Deku used Spirit Spear Chastifil 1 form and launched all of the power he had in his Fairy King mode at Dabera he just took Tay blow and when the smoke cleared he just said, nice attack now let's kick it up a notch 20% show me what else you caught. Hearing this Deku decided to use Physical Hunt and activate his full demon mark and then he punched Dabera through 3 buildings but he instantly reappeared in front of Deku. Nice punch I see you're taking my own physical power welp let's start turn C. As he said this Dabera activated his own demon mark Deku took Lost Vein and created 8 copies and attacked with them, divine 1000 slashes in total. 8,000 slashes this did hurt Dabera but he sut healed with Darkens. Not bad I see in your current state you're worth 30% of my power welp let's sut end this unless you get more powerful this is just starting to bore me. Then he used a punch covered with a little Darkens punching Deku back 20 buildings, assault mode. Then Darkens started covering Deku's entire body then after the smoke cleared Dabera saw something that made him take him more seriously. Wow you're stronger than I thought with that state. Currently you're worth 40% of my power then let's start. He realized 40% of his power and then summoned a sword made of Darkens and used it to battle Deku who was using Lost Vein. After clashing for 5 minutes, Deku thought of an idea, then he used heavy metal on his fist, combining it with his darkens, punching Dabera in the gut. This made him stumble back a bit, but only cough up and started smirking more. Yeah, I made the main villain of this story a battle maniac. I just wanted to make him a battle maniac. Why? Don't you stop smirking and fight seriously, yelled Deku. Beacuse, I never thought I would have this much fun fighting you. It's a blast, I love it, answered Dabera. You battle maniac, I only know one other person who's this crazy about fighting strong opponents. Okay, let's end this 45%, but as he said this something changed his power from 40 to 45%, just basically tripelled. Then Deku noticed something. Oh, you know, he noticed Dabera in assault mode. This is bad and I'm running out of ways to fight him. If only I had the ultimate one, then I maybe could beat him, but it's already past noon, so I can't do that. I have only one form left, and this fight has been going on for 11 minutes in total. I don't know how long I can last with that form, and I'm running out of options. Wait, idea. Deku used Lost Vein to create 3 clones. Beacuse, when Dabera activated assault mode, he destroyed the other clones. Use the Demon King form to stall him. I'll try to recover Spirit Spear Chastifiel 8 form. As Deku did this, the clones activated the Demon King mode. Oh, you still have tricks up your sleeve, but I can tell you clones only have 1/3 of the original's power, and you already have higher power levels in that stage than the original in assault mode. This is getting better. Let's get this show started. Dabera clashed with the clones, but they still were weaker than Dabera. Then they all hit Dabera with their full power, and then some on 2 hands on their back used them to start fixing, but before they knew it, Dabera started using 50% power, which was a triple power boost. Again, his body started being fully covered in darkens, only leaving his hands and feet and face sable. Everything else was covered by darkens. Crab, am not fully healed, but I guess this will have to do. Note he Deku held for 1 minute before the clones were beaten, so now it's 12-minute Demon King mode go. Then Deku body started turning into the same form as his clones. Finally a good challenge. Now you're really worth 50% of my power, said Dabera as he finale is starting to fight seriously. If you make this interesting, I'll make you a deal. What deal? Asked Deku confused. If Sai is fun enough, I'll leave your friends alone and leave for now and return later. So deal? Deal, Beacuse, then at least I can protect my friends a bit longer, answered Deku. Good, now let's get started. As Dabera says this, he charges at Deku and clashes fist with him constantly over and over again while they both used darkens to heal, and Dabera started to make claws with his darkens while Deku used to hand on his back in his Demon King form and kept up with Dabera, but he was slowly being overpowered by Dabera and his 1-minute time limit was almost over, and if he couldn't make Dabera have fun, his friends would be dead. No, I won't give up, I won't let it end this way. As he thought this, he created 7 clones and gave each one of them one of the sacred treasures, and then they used the strongest magic attack they had, and then they aimed the attack at Deku, and then he used full counter at all of their attacks together and boosting their power and using his Demon King form's last seconds before his limit was reached to make the attack stronger, and then he went back to normal and the 7 clones disappeared, leaving a tired, exhausted Deku. The only thing his mind was, please tell me that attack was strong enough to make him enjoy this fight, otherwise I'm dead and my friends are also dead. But in the smoke he saw a somewhat injured Dabera slow clapping. Well done, I enjoyed the fight, but I'll say this, that last attack was a strong, it made me use 57% of my power, and that has never been done by anyone not counting the Demon King, but still great. No, excellently done. Now as of our deal, I'll spare your friends but not you. Then Dabera charged a punch covered in darkens and punched Deku at one of his hard, then he drew 7 sword, the same one as Esterasa used to kill Meliodas for a bit of time, and then stabbed him in all 7 hearts, and then finished of saying, good fight, wish we could fight more, but it doesn't seem like that's gonna happen. Then Dabera hit Deku in the direction of UA, and he finally lost his life when he crashed against the walls of UA. Back to the UA people. And screamed Nejire as he charged to where Deku is and said, oh, please don't die, please don't leave me, as she was hugging the dead body of Deku while the others stood there in disbelief of seeing someone as strong as him dead, and since they knew about if his 7 hearts were struck there wouldn't be a way to save him, so they just stood there and let Nejire hug the dead body of their friend while singing. Just imagine that Elizabeth is Nejire and Deku is as Meliodas, and I hope a GIF doesn't cost money, otherwise I'm so screwed. Why did you have to go and die like that? I didn't want you to die, was the only words a Sirinji Nejire could say. He did. This image does not follow our content guidelines. To continue publishing, Please remove it or upload a different image. Just imagine that Elizabeth is Nejire and Deku is as Meliodas, and I hope a GIF doesn't cost money, otherwise I'm so screwed. Why did you have to go and die like that? I didn't want you to die, was the only words a Serenji Nejire could say. He did this to protect us and save us. He knew he wouldn't survive, but he didn't care. He wanted to save us. Even though most of the school betrayed his, he still wanted to save us. Said Nizu Aiden. The others there were Serenji also because they just lost a great human being slash friend slash rival slash boyfriend, and they didn't leave the place for a while until they decided to bury the body, while the people there were sad and wanted this to be a dream, some more than others. Nejire the most. Where the hell am I? This isn't Earth. No it isn't. You're in somewhere else? Why you? How are you here and where am I? We're in. I'm gonna leave that as a cliffhanger and am already thinking of what series to do next after this ends. I'll give you guys the choice. What is the next story I do after I finish this? Until next time on the next chapter of The Sin Hero. I'm not saying the title XD. Sleepy and I don't wanna let the title spoil what's gonna happen next. So bye. The Sin Hero Deku, nejirexdeku, betrayed Deku. Sorry, this is gonna be a short chapter because yesterday I published over 3,000 word one. Previously on The Sin Hero, last time you fought Dabra, the successor of the 10 Commandments, and was gifted a quarter of the Demon King's power, and the battle showed how much our main character is weaker compared to Dabra, and at the end he died, but there is a change. He will return now to the story of The Sin Hero. Where am I? You're in purgatory? How I died and why are you here? Meliodas, I'm a demon. Remember, I can enter here because of the curse I used to have, and I saw you die. You but up a good fight is a cup to you, just weren't strong enough to use your full power. After hearing this, Deku was shocked. Wait, what? I still have more powers, but how I used the Demon King form? It's my strongest form. What do you mean when you say full power? Deku still couldn't believe what Meliodas said. You may have used your Demon King form, but you can combine all your forms. You actually achieved a bit of it when you were fighting. Remember, you used heavy metal while using you were in your assault mode, remember, said Meliodas while pointing at his head. Oh yeah, that did happen. So you're saying I can combine all my forms, but how and how long will it take? Asked Deku with a serious voice. Easy, 2,880 years. Answered Meliodas like it was nothing. Wait, what? 2880? I will die. Oh, you wait, almost immortal. I forgot, but all my friends will be dead by that time. After saying this, Deku looked at the ground in sadness. No, they won't. In purgatory 1 minute is 1 year in your world. So for them it would only be 2 days. I hope that is correct. W8 really? Yes, really. So let's get started. 1. Let's take away your shield because I was protecting you while you were not awake, and then 2. You have to train with purgatories whether the air here is cold while eyes cold at the same time. It can burn your kin and more, and the ground is highly toxic, so it's gonna be torture. After saying this, Meliodas took away the shield Tot was protecting Deku. Oh you god, that hurts. I'm burning and freezing alive. Oh, it hurts. Why are you not being affected by this place? 1. I've been here for much longer than I can count. 2. You get used to it. 3. Band's body after like 1,000 or somewhere near that number was used to this place. So after a while you will get used to it, for because I protected you from purgatory the sins and me took away your other races and left you only human. So that this training will be at 100% of how much stronger you can become. So get up, we have to train you, otherwise the next time you battle against Dabra you will win and show him who's stronger. So rise up and stand up, demanded Meliodas. Yes, I will get stronger so I can protect my friends and the person I love. I will win next time. I will protect them, said Deku with determination in his eyes. Good, now let's start, answered Meliodas. The Sin Hero Deku, nejirexdeku, betrayed Deku. Sorry I haven't updated recently, it's just I have some stuff I had to do and I thought they were more important than this and another thing, and also sorry for the short chapter. Next one will be longer and another fight scene will happen. Previously on The Sin Hero, you woke up in purgatory and saw Meliodas there. Then after a explanation why he is in purgatory, they start training so that he could protect his friends and love. Now back to the story. After Deku's death, Nejire only left for food and then returned to her room and was crying all night because of her love died 2 days ago and she still was heartbroken by this. Come on Nejire, it's time for class, Mirio said while behind her door. Alright, I'm gonna get ready for class, then I'm coming down, answered Nerji while getting up. Okay, meet you in class, see you later. Then Mirio ran to his class. Another day without my Aizu is like hell for me, said Nejir while Surinji. Time skip after lessons. So what do you guys want to eat today? asked Mirio while walking into the cafeteria. No idea, answered Nejire. I am good at anything just as long there are not many people around us, answered Tamaki. Okay, let's get some food and then return to our class, said Mirio as he ran to the cafeteria. I'm just gonna skip them eating beacuse. I don't have the energy to think of how that's gonna go. Let's just skip to the finale act almost. After eating. That was some good food in my opinion, said Mirio as he held his hands on his stomach. I agree, Tamaki answered, but Nejire was just not speaking. The others knew why, so they just ignored it. Little did they know what is just about to happen. After classes. I'm gonna go into my room, was the only thing Nejire said before she stood up and went to the door, but before she could reach it a huge explosion happened. What just happened? Was the only thing Mirio could say, but do say he was shocked by what he saw was an understatement. Yemi Su, what 2 days are up, Su, it's time to kill everyone here, was the only words Dabera said. Then he went and attacked the students, taking them down one by one while only using 0.1% and 0.2% of his power. Pathetic is this. All they could muster. This much isn't enough for me to consider this playing. This is just outrageous, disgusting how weak you people are. That green messy-haired boy I fought was far stronger than this entire school is nothing but full of insects. It's disgusting. Why are you all so weak? Dabera's voice was full of venom and he had enough and decided to kill all of them, but the first was a certain blue-haired female because he knew that the person he fought before, Deku, loved her, so he thought she would be a good first kill. Then Dabera swung his hand to cut of Nejire's head off. Suddenly she wasn't there anymore. What? Dabera said, shocked. She wasn't there anymore. Sate Dabera, I'm gone for 2 days and this is what I return and see why dose every time I leave this happen. Why, you're dead, how are you alive? Was all Dabera could say because how shocked he was, but then he saw that the person in front of him was stronger than the last time, so he started to smirk crazily. Then Nejire opened her eyes to see the person she wanted to see the most. Why, you're alive, Su Gald, you're alive. Izu, I missed you so much. I would but a pick here, but there's a reason I'm not. I missed you also, Nejire, but now is not the time. I need to go and fight. Let's catch up and I'll explain where I have been all this time. Deku said this while smiling. Why, please don't die again. I can't stand seeing that again. Please don't die, pleaded Nejire while hugging Deku. And I promise this time I'm much stronger. With these words, Deku reassured Nejire that he won't die again. Then he put her somewhere safe and turned around and walked towards Dabera. So you're still alive and I can sense you're a lot stronger. Show me, let's fight again. When Deku saw what Dabera said and his face, he already knew he is full battle maniac mode. Okay, but this time I will win and protect the people I care about and end you, answered Deku. That's the spirit, let's start. Tree already. You took the words rigged out of my mouth, Dabera. After saying this, they both went and clasped with each other. The Sin hero Deku, nejirexdeku, betrayed Deku. Play button. Note this fight won't be as long or like the last time. Illinois explain why later, but now time for the rematch. Also sorry for the short chapter 1 had some family to deal with. Also this was the best thing I could think of for the side chapter. Previously on, the Sin hero after the death of Nejire was depressed and wasn't like her usual self, but after Dabra came and wanting to kill all of UA, and before his first kill, who was Nejire, she was saved by someone who she thought she would never see again, and now it's rematch time. Now we continue where we left off. The two charged at each other. Dabera made a fist of darkness while Deku used heavy metal on his fist, and the two fists hit each other. Ha, you're way stronger. Last time you had to use your spirit spear chasteful one form, and Todd only made me use 20% of power. I know they're called configurations, but I'm not learning how to type that word. Sue, how much percent of your power are you using currently? Said Deku with a calm face. About 15%, but I can see you're not even taking me a tiny bit seriously. I would guess you're only using 5% of your power. When Deku heard Dabera say this, he also heard a hint of excitement in his voice. Correct, I'm only using 5%, so why not kick it up a notch, 10%? Then Deku summoned Chasteful and activated its 5-form increase, and then he fused the tips of the swords with God's power and then used Hell Blaze at the bottom of the sword. Combination attack Hell God Swords ISCK at names. This is the best I could think of. Then Deku made the swords launch at Dabera. WH sheet. This is gonna hurt, have no choice. 55% time. As he thought that all his body was pierced by the swords. Note reason why Dabera used 55% when Deku used only 10% is because God's powers fused with Hell Blaze. God damn it, that F hurts. How do you get strong in 2 days? yelled Dabera, who still has all the blades in his body. Purgatory is your answer. I trained 2,880 years there with nothing but my own power, no other race, only full human, and I survived and I'm stronger than ever, answered Deku while looking bored. I bet you haven't trained one day in your life, so I'll make you a deal. You train in purgatory for 1,440 years and then we fight again, but next time it will be a fight to the death, so what do you say? After saying this, Deku went in front of Dabera, who still was in pain. I accept, but be ready next time I will kill you. After hearing Dabera's answer, he let him go and then healed all of you. Izuku, is that you? Was the first words Mirio said when he saw Deku. No way, you damn nerd, how are you alive? Was the only words a shocked Bakugo could say. Why you died? Tamaki answered. Like I said, Dabera, I was in purgatory and trained for 2,880 years before you ask how I was dead for only 2 days. That answer is purgatory has a faster time. 1 minute here is 1 year in purgatory. So you have any other questions? Why were you in purgatory? Asked Nejire. Easy, because I was given my demon powers by Meliodas and he had a curse that if he died his emotions would be sent to purgatory and he would revive after a few days. Only bad thing is every time he died his emotions were being taken away and making him more like his old self when he was the leader of the 10 commandments, but lucky me, my emotions stay with me, so I won't become a cold-hearted killer like he was in the past. Answered Deku. The answer left all who were close enough to hear that beyond shocked. Also, I am a lot stronger than before, because purgatory has air that is freezing cold yet at the same time blazing hot air, and also the ground is incredibly toxic, so yeah, more than over 100 times my skin was burned, frozen, or just melted off, and that only made me stronger. Plus now I can fuse my powers together, and in this fight I only used 10% of my power, so now I just hope next time he gives me a harder battle, because next time the fight is do the death. Now I will answer any questions you have, said Deku, as all of them went and asked many other questions, but they knew they only had 1 day for having fun, because the day after that Dabera will return and stronger, and next time one of them will die. Not even purgatory can save him, because the curse of Meliodas only activates only one. Next time Deku dies he won't be able to return and he is truly dead. Sorry for the short chapter again, I just have some stuff due to and I can't make longer chapters. Next chapter 1 will make small flashback of Deku's life in purgatory and also a lemon chapter, the final lemon of this book. Susie next time. Chapter 13, Life in Purgatory, the last lemon. Sorry, this chapter was supposed to be out like a month ago. It was half done a month ago even, but my personal life took more importance. I had to look after my baby brothers, so hey, race the chapter that's a month late. Last time on the Sin Hero all seemed lost when Dabera returned and defeated all of Yue and almost killed some of them, but before he could start his killing, Du returned and beat him and let him go this time because he wants their next battle to be to the death. And so now we continue the story after answering every question. So now that's done with him, gonna go sleep. Spirit spear chastiful 0 form, then a pillow appeared from the spear. See guys later, I'm gonna take a nap. Then Deku left for his room as Nejire was still shocked by Deku's answers of purgatory and how he trained in there for 2,880 years and how much stronger he became. Then she remembered the question about the training he did to become this strong. Flashback. So what did you do in purgatory? Asked a random UA student. Yes, I remember the hell I went through to get this strong. I remember like it was just yesterday, but actually I had to go through hell for over half of the years I was there. Yes, the burning, the freezing, the feeling of your skin being burned, the highly poisons ground, and the beasts there are so hell memories. I can't for the hell of me forget them. Answered Deku. After hearing this, everyone thought, what hell is purgatory like? And he lived in that kind of place before his body became used to it and he didn't burn, freeze, or the highly poisons ground. Oh, you guys wonder how it was? Why don't I tell you? A time I fought one of the creators of purgatory when I was only been there for 3 years only. So flashback to purgatory. God damn it, this pain is unbelievable and me fixing this creature. Hey Meliodas, I thought you said that this creature was the weakest here, asked Deku. I did, and I didn't lie. Now you see how much your human part is a weakness for you, and the only reason you're still alive is like ban your age won't kill you, but it doesn't mean that the blazing hot and freezing cold weather with the toxic ground won't hurt like hell, and that is the weakest creature here. Like I said, you are fully human again. Beacuse, you need this to grow stronger and beat Dabera. If you had any of the powers you had before or the race, this won't be even half as effective training. So all this hell is so you will be strong enough to protect the people you care about, and also then you can use what I taught you here, and that will be a lot better for her and also a lot more pleasure, answered Meliodas. After hearing what Meliodas said, he remembered what he taught him and blushed deep. Red Beacuse, he was thinking of it. And him doing what he taught it? Now kill it. We still have a long way to go before you can kill Dabera. Now attack it, ordered Meliodas. Hi, answered Deku. Back to the flashback. And that's how my life went for a long time, and I mean a really long time in purgatory. Back to the present. Nejire was walking to Izuku's room. Beacuse, she was wondering, what was that thing that Meliodas taught him, and wanted to ask him. Beacuse, she remembered the words he said. What did he mean? It will be better for her and much more pleasure if I find out my Izu is cheating on me. I will find that beach and beat her up. In front of Deku's room. Hey Izu, can I come in? I need to talk with you, asked Nejire. Sure, the door's open, answered Deku. What did Meliodas teach you in purgatory? Asked Nejire with puppy dog eyes. Fine, hey race, what he taught me. After a short explanation, note, I'm not gonna spoiler this, it will soon be known. Insert evil laughing, and that's what he taught me. So hey race, my question for you, wanna do it for the second time, and are you on child control? Asked Deku. Why, I am Beacuse. Before I came here I remembered the word pleasure and thought that it was something like that, answered Nejire. Good, now let's get started, said Deku as he was in front of Nejire and started kissing her. Now let's get started. Warning, lemon is starting, so continue on your own risk. I see you're already wet, huh? Nejire asked Deku when he saw how wet his girlfriend was. Baka, answered Nejire while Deku just smirked at her answer. Then he started to touch her melons, which made her moon of pleasure, and then started biting her NPL while his other hand was at her vgna. Stop teasing me, said Nejire while Tiranji to finish her sentence, but was difficult for her because of her M's and pleasure. She's in. As you wish, but first it's time to try what I learned, answered Deku. He took out Lost Vein and created 5 clones, and when Nejire saw this she immediately knew what was gonna happen. Welp, are we gonna start Izu? Asked Nejire with hearts in her eyes. As you wish, my queen, but I call your vgna, answered Deku. I call her mouth, said Deku 2. I call her butt, said Deku 3. I call her melons, answered Deku 4. And I get her hands, answered Deku 5. Good, now let's begin, said the original Deku. Yes, in making this a clone lemon I regret nothing. Then the Dekus all went to their places and started. So how does it fell being done everywhere? Asked the original Deku. Im fem sobed si I wong mukf. Translation: it fell so good I want more. As you wish, my queen, answered Deku as Olive started speeding up, which made Nejire not feel her legs. You're most likely not gonna fell your legs tomorrow, or even not sit tomorrow because of this. Are you sure you want to continue? If we do it a bit more it's basically 100% likely that's gonna happen, asked Deku with a kind of worry, do which Nejire just moved her head, which answered his question. The answer was a yes. Okay, your choice, answered the original as he started moving harder and faster, and all of them come at the same time, and then the clones disappeared, which confused Nejire. If you're wondering why I made the clones go away, the answer is if we do it like that again today you'll break mentally, and I don't want that, answered Deku, which Nejire accepted and just passed out because of what just happened. So Meliodas was right, I should not do this more than once for a while. Well, might as well go asleep, but first how am I gonna clean this room later? Boy, was the clones measy, said Deku with a chibi face. That's future MS problem. I'm going asleep, need it for the fight I'm going to have with Dabera tomorrow. I hope I win, said Deku as he closed his eyes. In purgatory. Ha ha ha, no wonder he became this strong. Training here is damn much fun, and the beasts here are so strong. Ha, soon we'll see again my enemy, and this time we'll fight to the death. Ha. The Sin Hero Deku, Nejirexdeku, Betrayed. Chapter 14, The Final Battle, Part 1, The Beginning. Follow. Welp, this series is coming to an end soon. I will have this fight as a 3-part one with an epilogue after the battle, and then 2 more stuff that aren't for this book, but for you do choose what story do to next. I'll reveal the 2 choices then, and also I'll upload a side story of Black Clover with the Omnitrix at the same time, but I will only upload that book's chapters when I want to. That's why it's a side thing for me. Welp, enough of this time. To go to the final battle. See. Last time on the Sin Hero you told Yue about his life in purgatory, and then after a clone lemon happened, and after it you wondered what will happen tomorrow because it's time for Dabra to return. In purgatory. Haha, I'm so much stronger now, be ready Izukalianes, but I do feel cheap ersing myself with it, but oh you well I will beat you, ha ha, this is gonna be a legendary fight, ha. Screamed a hysterical Dabera in purgatory. Welp, time to go do earth and end his life, said Dabera as he created a portal do where Deku was. Earth. So you're finally here, stadet Deku as he stands up. Yeah, let's end this fight, this is gonna be so much fun, answered Dabera. So still haven't lost that battle maniac personality, oh you well I do agree, this is gonna be a fun fight, answered Deku Dabera's question. Yeah, let's just start, I can't wait anymore, said Dabera as he went into a battle position. As you wish you maniac, answered Deku as he did the same. Let's end this. They both yelled as they charged at each other and then they clashed and looked at each other in the eye with the intent to kill the other. How will this fight end? Who will win? What cursed Dabera but on himself? What lie did Meliodas say to our hero? Find on the next Sin Hero chapter 15 Tay Final Fight Part 2 The battle between two titans in next time. Chapter 15 The Titans Clash. Note this is the 2 of 3 part finale battle, so I have only one more battle that will be the finale, then have a epilogue and 2 other stuff. Now onto the story. Last time on the Sin Hero everyone went into safe spots and Dabera apeard, but he cursed himself with what did Meliodas lie do to you at the start, and the battle will start now. Time to end this. They both screamed as the both ouch their fists against each are others, with Deku using heavy metal on his while Dabar's uses darkens on his HA. They yelled as they head-butted each other, then they stagger back a bit, don't know if I said that word correctly, and both grow and a bit in pain, but right after they fixed themselves they charged at each other and Deku summoned Ban's sacred treasure. I forgot the name of some, give me a break, I haven't typed a story in over 1 month a week ago, and is physical hunt but no organs came out so. He just stole his physical power for himself and used snatch with the staff, but Dabera just slabbed it away and out of Deku's hand. Then Gi went for a punch, but Deku grabbed his punch, and they both powered up a bit, and Dabera used a blade of darkned while Deku created a small cruel sun on both his hands. Just imagine double Rasengan's booth cruel sun version, and charged at Dabera, who after seeing this thought, "Sheet, if I don't take this more seriously I'll end up really hurt." After thinking this, Dabera used his darkens to make small block of darkens and went against the 2 cruel suns clashing against each other, creating a small explosion. Before Dabera could react, Deku summoned Chastafol and used its 4-form guardian. I say again, I forgot a lot, and it clashed fist with Dabera, but without him noticing before it was too late. There were 2 other giant bears with 6 arms and a bunch of short swords, while Deku had a giant spear with him and fairy king wings. Then one of the bears disappeared and turned into a giant flower. All Dabera could hear was the wind and Deku saying fire. Then the flower shot a laser at him, and the short swords with a bit of God's power stabbed Dabsra all over his body, and he had to use almost half his power to hold the bears with 1 arm and 1 darken's arm on both the left and 8 side of his body. But he failed to notice that Deku was charging a exterminate ray in his hand with Merlin's treasure, but before he could fire it, Dabera activates his full demon mark and rushes do where Deku is catching him off guard, and suddenly fired the ray, but it missed and destroyed a bit of the city. But at this, Deku thought, good think I tested the safe spots myself, otherwise I would be unsure if they would survive this hide close to high noon. But he stopped thinking when Dabera punched him in the face hard and launched him into the ground and then hit him multiple times. But as he was going for Deku's head, he was suddenly punched in the chin, sending him through several buildings. I'm not out of the count yet, said Deku as he stood up again, and then he activates his full demon mark, then charge him at Dabera, but they just cancelled each other out with their demon marks, and Dabera isn't letting him grab any of his other weapons, so he just has to wait for noon to end fid as best he can. This is a blast, said Dabera, but Deku didn't answer him, just fought him. Both their regen abilities keep them alive and they couldn't outpower each other, but suddenly Deku started growing in size and his power skyrocketing with small flames around him, and it was at this moment Dabera knew Deku entered the one. So round 2 Dabera, or are you scarred? Said Deku with a cocky grin. No, why would I for someone huss weaker than me? Answered Dabera. I'll make you eat though use words, answered Deku back. Time for the final round of this fight. They both said at the same time while Deku summoned the divine axe Rita and releasing it, and at the same time Dabera entered Demon King assault mode. Sud imagine Assault mode with Demon King mode fused together, and then Dabera summoned 2 giant hands behind him and used his 2 real hands to punch Deku while he just charged a big cruel sun with Omega Arc, and when Dabera saw this he changed his plan from frontal assault to range because he knew if that hit it would almost end him, but his answer to this problem was channel his destructive energy with his 2 extra hands while charging a beam of darkness in his 2 real ones and fusing them. Then when they were done, both fired at each other, creating a giant explosion, and that explosion created a 1,000 kilometers long and 900 meters deep hole, while the both of them rose up again with blood almos over their entire body. But Dabera used all his darkness and increased his power more, but Deku saw that noon is going to end soon, so he thought, "Sheet, noon's gonna end, I have to use the ultimate one." And so Deku used the ultimate one, and they both were facing each other while Deku had a deep calm with the intend do kill face. Dabera had a giant grin with the same intention do kill Deku, and they slowly stepped towards each other. That's all for this chapter on the Sin Hero Chapter 16. The final battle is over. It also note the reason why you doesn't use more fusion attacks is they may be more powerful, but they're not always compatible, like arc and earth manipulation. They don't work well and actually weaken the attack while others work more well. Also the next one is gonna be a thing where ILJ had some story what I am lazy to write. Susie. Chapter 16 The Final Battle Part 3 The End. Well, this is the ending of this story. I will to a prologue do say what happened after the story, but in Deku's POV. Last time on the Sin Hero, the fight with Dabera was fierce, neither giving way and always rising do new levels of power and countering each other, and at the end they both activated more powerful forms for their battle. Deku launched at Dabera with crazy prominence, and multiple mini-suns appeared out of his body and went towards him while he launched a contained Hellblaze which was 3 times smaller than a normal Hellblaze and fused his darkness with Hellblaze to make it stronger, and he created a Dark Blaze, and he cancelled crazy prominence with the attack. Then they charged at each other and called at fists, and each blow Dabera's hands burned a bit, but they held it with his darkness, and Dabera just did a roundhouse. But Deku countered with a blow to the stomach, and they jumped away for some distance, and while they stood there Deku thought, "Damn, I can't hold on much longer. If I do my body will die because how much stress this form creates. Even with my immortality I have to launch one last attack and then return back into my base form." Dabera thought same thing, but his power starting to make his hearts explode. Deku started charging a final prominence while Dabera made the strongest dark matter orb he could and enhanced it with Hellblaze, and they launched it at each other, but there was a massive explosion what was at the same level as a nuclear bomb, and when the dust of the explosion disappeared showed a Deku with his body almost covered in his blood and Dabera with his body being covered by his darkness, but when it disappeared it shows a body full of scars and bloody but less than Deku. Then both charged at each other and punched one another in the face, but suddenly Dabera's eyes lost all color and screamed in pain, and darkness erupted and covered him in it and reappeared as a giant dark monster with 2 horns, long arms with 4 claws and 2 giant wings. Deku started charging a final prominence while Dabera made the strongest dark matter orb he could and enhanced it with Hellblaze, and they launched it at each other, but there was a massive explosion what was at the same level as a nuclear bomb, and it started to laugh. "Haha, finally I'm free," it proclaimed, confusing Izuku, and decided to ask, "Who are you?" He asked, getting an answer, "I'm the Demon King, but so much stronger, ha." He answered maniacally and making Izuku Dio use his last resort and remembers Meliodas' words. Izuku is seen training with Meliodas, but he decided to talk. "Izuku, I'm gonna tell you something. If you fuse all our powers together it will be one time use only, so make it count. It will also severely weaken you for the remaining of your life and will take your immortality away, only leaving you 7,000 years to live, and we will disappear from your subconscious sadly, so only use it as a last resort," he says, making him cry, but he tried his tears and answered, "Yes, Pervy-sensei," with a chibi face, making Meliodas ruffle his hair while laughing. Then a flashback. Suddenly Izuku's power increased much more than the ultimate one. His body grew giant and looked like the one form. He grew 6 wings, 2 goddess wings, 2 demon wings, and 2 fairy wings. His left eye turned into a goddess eye while the right a demonic. He gained a fox-like smile and far stronger magical powers, but he still was only 1/10 of the Demon King. Then Izuku flew into the air ready for battle. The Demon King started charging a blast from his mouth and shoot it, but Izuku countered with a sunshine Infused exterminated ray countering ray. A claw hit Izuku, but he countered with sending a arc fused with infinity, hurting the demon king. Suddenly giant dark tendrils from the ground grabbed his legs, but he freed himself with chastiful increase fused with arc cutting the tendrils. Then Izuku used fox hunt but infused with hell blaze, blinding the demon king's left eye and burning him a bit, but then Izuku caught a slash across his arm. From the other hand of the demon king attack, Izuku then grabbed Lost Vein, created 6 clones, all with one of the 7 deadly sins weapons. He had Lost Vein and put all of his power into it. The others did the same and then launched the last attack at the Demon King. Gouthers one paralyzed him. Ban's Sacred Treasure pulled a limb. Merlin's blasted a giant hole in him. Escaner cut his other arm of Chastifol. Blasade his left leg. Of Diane's smashed his other leg, and Lost Vein closed in multiple colors and slashed the Demon King in half with one final attack, making him scream, "No, I can't loose, not again," as he died, and Izuku fell onto the ground while coming into his Supko. Nice seeing the sins and Elizabeth start disappearing, making him cry and want to call out do them, but knew it was pointless since he knew a long time ago this would happen, so he decided to say something else. "I promise I'll keep protecting the world, but long as I can and best I can," he shouted with a smile, making them raise their thumbs to him and smile with happiness, and finally disappeared. And Izuku woke up and barely stood up. He saw a defeated Dabera. He decided to get close to him, ready to kill him with a barely holding Lost Vein, but before he could Dabera spoke. "Thanks for freeing me. I didn't know he was controlling them. I never wanted due to all of this. I just wanted a good fight, not being some puppet of evil. I was still conscious, just barely. I thank you again for the good fight, but now I lost all but one of my hearts and a lot of my powers. I'm done being evil. If you owe me, I want to help out now," he says, making Izuku drop Lost Vein, which broke on impact and fell from the fight, and decided to ask something that bothers him when seeing him alive. "Are you still alive? I basically destroyed all of it almost," he asked curiously, gaining an answer. "The darkness was me, and Te Demon King, I was it. You just destroyed so much of it, which is basically all of it from me. Each body part you cut weakened the Demon King, and with Te final attack I was appelled to push Te Demon King out and dodge your attack while ending the Demon King's conscience forever," he explained, getting up but still sitting down, and Izuku did the same. Both looked up into the sky, smiling, knowing they will live on, and this fight will be known many years after it's happening, but after their generation they would let the next take care of itself while fighting if any other powerful being appears. As both looked at each other, they fist bump each other, already waiting for the next day. The Sin Hero Deku, nejirexdeku, betrayed Deku. Play button. Note: I have other stories. I will try to upload more frequently after this is uploaded. I think the next one is my Pokemon story. Izuku POV. It's been 4,000 years since my fight with Dabera. After my win, the whole world celebrated my victory, and we're glad Dabera changed sides. After being freed from the Demon King, I became the #1 hero, while Dabera the #2. Crime rate dropped to a 0.01%, but we both steps down after 8 years. Do let the new generation take control. After 3 years of my fight with Dabera, I had 3 kids with Nejire, whose names were in honor of my ancestors Meliodas, Ban, and King. The next year we had 2 more who we named Merlin, Gauther, and the next we had another group of triplets named Escaner, Diane, and Elizabeth. Coincidentally, they looked a lot like the ones they are named after. We got married 2 years after my fight with Dabera. Uraraka was released from prison but was put into life sentence because she tried to kill children, and Nejire, where I used a bit of my magic to make her life span 2,000 years so she could suffer more. Todoroki and Momo had daughter who looked like a mix of him and her, who had a quirk that could create anything if she knew what it's made up and add fire ice properties to it. Kaminari and Jiru had one that looks like Jiru, but her quirk was electric earphone jacks, basically a combination of her parents' quirk. Tsuyu and Tokoyami had a son who had a frog-like appearance and what could be considered another dark shadow, just as a frog. Mina Kirishima had 3 kids. 2 had one of their parents' quirk, but the 3 had a mix of them. He could harden and add some acid do anywhere do his body and use ID for better defense and offense. Ida and Mei had a kid who had both his parents' quirk. He could see far and had Ida's engine quirk. Kami and Bakugu surprisingly had a kid who had a mix of their quirks, could create illusions, but the illusions could explode. She had her father's personality but to a lesser degree. Toru and Ojiro had a daughter who could turn invisible at will or hide part of her body only and had a tail. And Mineta surprisingly had 2 kids, a son and daughter with someone you had it. Similar personality to him, they had a stronger version of Mineta's quirk. They could produce the sticky ball from anywhere from their body at will, and luckily neither had their perverted personality, otherwise they may have gotten arrested after I made Nejire life longer. Also, after we reach our mid-adult age, 3,000 years old, our kids naturally had long lifespans and surprisingly had the people they are named after. Abilities, they even formed a group called the New 7 Deadly Sins who become the #1 hero team after graduating. After 1 year of graduation, All Might died 40 years after most of them have died, not wanting longer lifespans, and my wife died 1,000 years ago. My kids have had grandkids also who are starting to date descendants of my old class. Me and Dabera have trained and re-obtained some of our powers. Now we're both 50% of what we were in our last fight, but I meet 1 month ago a girl Hus 15 years old who is like Nejire, thinking she's her reincarnation, and after a week knowing her I was proven correct. We started dating, telling my kids she's their mother's reincarnation, which made them happy and introduced their girlfriend. I expanded Nejire's lifespan again, this time so we could live the same amount of years and die together. Currently we're on a skyscraper looking at a city in the future. After 1 year of graduation, All Might died 40 years after most of them have died, not wanting longer lifespans, and my wife died 1,000 years ago. My kids have had grandkids also who are starting to date descendants of my old class. Me and Dabera have. This image does not follow our content guidelines. To continue publishing, please remove it or upload a different image. I stood up as did Nejire, who was next to me. We grabbed hands and jumped of Tay building while I took out 2 gods and demon wings and started flying in the sky, smiling and laughing with Nejire, not knowing what life still had for us, but knowing I had people I could count on and my family. I knew we could take on anything, and this is the end of my story, the story of the Sin hero who was betrayed. End of Izuku POV. End of chapter. This is the final chapter of this story, but I will upload something else, but it won't be a chapter for this story, just for the stuff I cut out of the story or suddenly added in. Changes in the story. First, I do say I never thought this story would get over 43k views and over 450 stars, so thank you for that. Now on to do the changes of the story. 1. Originally I was gonna not make the Demon King control Dabera, but I suddenly wanted a dark monster as a final fight, so I added that. 2. Izuku was gonna have only 2 kids originally. 3. I changed the second of last chapter a lot actually. For I originally had an idea for a second season, but I scraped it. That's all, and with this the story's completed. I'm sad yet happy to finish my first story that started it all, but with the story ends, and for the last time on the Sin Heroes. Until next time on another story.